All right, we're good to go. Hello, hello. Welcome back to Slurpathon. And I'm hearing myself. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So we are here with JalBagel, and he's going to be doing Monster Hunter World.
Hello.
Take it away.
Okay. Yeah, hi, my name is JalBagel. This is Monster Hunter World, Xeno%. So what that means is this is a full game speed run from the beginning of the game to the high rank kind of boss monster called Xeno. So we just call it Xeno%. This category is also called with add-ons. It allows us to use some practically speedrunner gear, right? Like its intent is pretty much speedrunning. So I'm just gonna go. I'm just setting up my characters now and their names. Give me 1 second here. We need to get a good luck cat. This game has an amazing randomize feature where the majority of the things that you randomize are beautiful. Oh, and then every now and then you get just like absolute abomination cats, like this monstrosity. I think this fits. Hell yeah. All right, cool. So this is the beginning of the game. We are going to be going fast. This game has it's about 3 hours and 15 minutes long, real time. It used to be a lot longer than that, but we have a beautiful mod now called Cutscene Skip, which lets us skip cutscenes because they didn't put that inherently in the game. Oh, I didn't. I'm an awful friend. I did not introduce my amazing commentator, Greenspeed. Green, say hi.
Hello there.
So Green's gonna be helping me explain things because he knows things better about the game, and I'm gonna be using my entire one brain cell to focus on the video game. So I guess without further ado, we should get started, huh? I have the timer, so Green, do you want to give me a countdown?
Of course. In 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, and we're off. So if we were doing like an actual record attempt, we also had an auto splitter for this that times out loads. Big thing with this game being on PC, in the format that it is, load times can be variable, save times can be variable. How we run the game can be variable, so that's one thing that we've used to kind of like level the playing field. But this is we aren't going to be using that, right? So because marathon timing. So this game is really cool. If you never played a Monster Hunter game, it's exactly how it sounds. It is Monster Hunter. We will be faced with big monsters and we will beat them up. And we're going to do that fast. We're going to do that as fast as we can. I believe that the weapon, so there's a weapon bid war. To pick between Sword and Shield, Great Sword, Hammer, and Dual Blades. And I believe, Sword and Shield won?
Sword and Shield is in the lead, yes.
Sword and Shield's in the lead. Okay, well, let's make it interesting. You guys can still... I still got about, 10 minutes until I actually pick the weapon. So if you guys want to snipe the weapon away from Greenspeed, who definitely donated towards that incentive, because I always do SNS. If you want to see a cooler, better weapon than SNS, you can definitely snipe that donation away from him. No, but all of those weapons are really neat to do speedruns with. SNS is just the one that we have the most optimized. We actually have scripted fights, full locks against monsters. It's actually really neat. So even if that one doesn't get met, we'll show off something very cool. Whereas if you pick something like Great Sword or Dual Blades, you get to watch me struggle. But still kind of go fast. So this is kind of the first intro sequence to the game. They're teaching us two things. One, that there's this gigantic volcano turtle that is angry. He wrecked our boat, and we want to claim the insurance, but he won't give us his insurance information because he's kind of rude. So we're going to be spending the entire game trying to find him. This is the first area of the game, though, and honestly, this moment right here is what drew in the biggest appeal for me in this game. Petty theft. We stole this notebook from the tent. No, I'm kidding. It's actually just how beautiful this game looks. I absolutely love how this game looks. And it's one of the reasons why it keeps drawing me back in, because the Monster Hunter formula is just so much fun, but then this game just does it pretty. So we keep mentioning other weapons. There are 14 weapons to this game, 15 weapon categories. We do time. Oh gosh, just every time it gets me. Absolutely beautiful. But we do time all of the weapons separately, independently. They are their own categories, more or less. So 14 weapons, so that's 15 weapon categories, one for every weapon, and then multi-weapon. You can do this run with more than one weapon. Green's actually working on a route that uses 3 of them. Right now, world record uses 2 of them. So this is it's a really cool game because we've been optimizing it even more and more recently, and like pushing down the time even lower and lower and lower. Like we're now under 3 hours for this run. It used to be greater than 4, which is really neat. Green, I don't know what else to add here other than I'm about to do menuing. You know this game about as well as I do, so we're totally hiding in that bush. Don't mind that.
So this is stealth. This is a mechanic we're going to use a couple more times in the game, just not by using a bush. Later on, we'll get an item that'll let us go into stealth mode effectively whenever we want. But other than using it to get away from monsters, we're not going to utilize it too much.
Yeah. So, this is the more or less the tutorial. If you ask anyone else, they'll tell you that the low rank category of this game is the tutorial. This is really the tutorial. They're teaching you how to like walk around, follow a person that you're going to be following the entire game. You know, more or less just how to pick up tracks, how to traverse the area. It's all pretty straightforward. The cool thing about this game is that it is one part movement and one part fight optimization. There is a really big skill ceiling for this game about doing fights optimally, and being able to take multiple weapons into this game and get a consistent time each time is a really neat thing. But that really just comes down to how optimized we have the movement in this game right now. It's kind of wild. Even last week we found another 10-second improvement in just walking. So that's neat. I like that. I think my cat just got up on the table again. He always knows exactly when I can't do anything about it. Small optimization there, dodging into this cutscene. This is Anjanath. We'll meet him again later. That's great Jogress. We'll meet him a lot sooner. And... yeah, he's not up there. He's underneath me. We're good. All right, so you may have noticed that the game language sounds kind of weird. Green, what language are we playing the game in?
We are playing the game in Monster Hunter language. It's basically poorly translated Japanese, but it does actually have a purpose. We used to run this game in English, but then we realized that there are some sections of the game where you can't mash through the text. It's actually based on the voice line the character is saying. And we realized, oh, different languages have different times, and the Monster Hunter language in total saves about 42 seconds because of that.
So this is an intended kind of like walking mechanic right here. There are some sections of the game where there are NPCs that we have to follow. So the game puts us in a walking animation so we can take in our surroundings, but walking sucks. We like to go fast. So we're going to try every way possible to not be walking. One of the cool little optimizations coming up here is called Mercer Skip. The dude walking behind us is called Field Team Leader, or FTL. In English, voiced by Matt Mercer. And when we found this skip, we were still running in English. So it's Mercer Skip. But effectively, if we can get outside of this kind of like walking radius, we can sprint past him and get around the whole walking radius and then just continue on our merry way to the next cutscene. There'll be one other instance I'll try it at. It's that new 10-second time save in movement. I'm going to try it. I've done it once, and I think I did it really sloppily, but, we'll still do it. But just by walking towards those crates, we get far enough away from them, we can start running again. All right, so these right here are like conference scenes. What do you call them? You have a great name for them. I can never remember it.
Council meetings?
Council meetings. That's a great word for this. Council meetings are cool. This is the section where we have text that can't be cleared quickly, so it's really all just based on how long that voice line is. These are those moments where the language really comes into play. Slurpy, out of curiosity, did anyone beat Green's SNS donation?
Yes, actually. Show me the switch axe.
No, it's not in there. Pick weapons that are in the list.
Switch axe main. Would you like to pick a different weapon that's actually in the list?
It was dual blades, great swords, SNS, or hammer. Who was it that donated it? Was it Ghidorah?
It was switch axe main. Swax main.
Oh no. Am I gonna have to? I'm gonna have to do SNS then. Oh dang.
Oof.
I am throwing the run. All right, so we're gonna do it with SNS since that was the one that technically won. Green.
You know, greatsword is awfully close to
Oh
switch
dang.
axe.
Listen, I was, you know, that's the, you know, in like Pokemon speedruns, they're like, what's the file name? That was me effectively, you know, typing out the file. All right. Was SNS not on that list? I might be wrong.
Was it not?
Let's find out.
I am looking right now.
Man, imagine knowing your own incentives. There's 14 weapons in this game. I run 12 of them, so.
Right?
Well, at least switching after this quest isn't a time loss.
Yeah, no, it's negligible at best. Alright, so this is the first quest, Jagras of the Ancient Forest. Our goal here is to slay 7 Jagras. They're these small little green lizard dudes. They're pretty cool. We're going to do a really neat thing here. There are 2 areas that we that we'll end up going to. In the first area, there are 6 Jagras. Ooh, but that's one too few. Don't worry. There's 7 billion more about 20 steps away from us in another area. So the cool thing here is that we're going to take advantage of small monster AI. When we slay 2 of these guys, they're going to want to transition into the area that we're going. But we're going to shoot a slinger ammo. It's like a slingshot on our wrist at the ground. That's going to make a little spot of fire. It's going to light the ground on fire. Monsters are going to run into that, and they're going to die to it. And then we don't have to kill them. So we're going to do that. That's 1. Get back here. All right, good. That's 2. So now we just need to slay 1 more of these guys, and then we're going to be doing my least favorite thing, which is green bone RNG. That was good. So we needed 1 ancient bone and 1 small monster bone. Small monster bone's practically guaranteed here. The thing that is not is the ancient bone, or as I like to call it, the green bone. Because it's green. Hey, green bone. Perfect. That's perfect RNG.
I'm just saying. Green speed is here. And you got the green bone.
Alright, so then you have to be on every one of my streams now when I'm doing world record attempts. So the last couple of things that we're going to be getting here is iron ore and some other materials to make traps and tranquilizers and stuff. We'll talk about more of that here in a bit, but a lot of the time, if we have downtime in the game, we're going to be using it to gather materials. Slurpy, did you see what those weapons were?
I was trying to see if they were going to change from switch axe to something else.
Oh,
but
I see.
I don't think so.
I don't run bow guns, Ghidorah. No, I do not. And they are also not in the list. I actually got amazing RNG there because I also got 2 Ancient Bones in the rewards.
We also got perfect iron ore RNG.
Yeah, I got the 6 that I needed from that quest, and I'll get 7 here. All right, so we'll go ahead and continue with SNS. This is going to be a fun run. This is cool. Everything. It's also very fast, which is fun to look at. So we have just crafted something called a defender weapon. Green, why are defender weapons good?
They were so. Some of you might know this game had an expansion that came out about 2 years ago. When that expansion came out, Capcom realized, oh, a lot of people haven't beat the base game. Let's give them weapons to get through the base game faster. And that's what we call the defender weapons. They're actually, once fully upgraded, which we will do in this run, they're about equivalent to a mid-level weapon in the expansion, which is a whole new rank. So we really like them.
They are the strongest weapon that we can acquire in this portion of the game. Whereas normally, you just wouldn't be able to do that, right? But yeah, this run includes the Iceborne expansion. We aren't going to be doing Master Rank stuff, but we will be taking advantage of things like Clutch Claw and the Defender gear, as well as the beautiful, amazing animation that is the Claw Stagger, or Clagger. So one of the reasons why these weapons are really good, they have a high amount of raw, they have a lot of sharpness, and they have an ailment on them called Blast. You may have saw that little explosion right there. That's Blast ailment. It does flat damage. Does not matter what the doesn't matter what part it hits. It always does the same amount of damage. It's insane. Blast is very good. It scales with our weapon. It will get stronger. Eventually, we'll be landing blast procs for like what is it, 180, 200 damage. It's insane.
A lot.
Yeah. So this part, we just have to kill some of these Kestodon. There is a bit of an RNG factor with how they can position and how they can move. So, you know, we're going to try to position ourselves in a way that we can hit multiple at the same time and kind of pray for blast procs. And honestly, come on. Not bad. Not bad RNG right there. Ideally, we would get a blast proc on the second or third hit. With the way that blast ailment works in this game on the small monsters, we should be getting a blast proc once every 3 hits. Alright, so our first large monster hunt. This is Great Jogress. Like I said, a lot of these are going to go by really fast, because the weird thing about this game is that they did not design defender gear or Iceborne adjustments for low rank, and they really didn't do it for high rank either. But in low rank, these things are, they should not be here. These adjustments should not exist. We're gonna kill things in a few seconds, rather than, you know, anything else. In the no add-ons portion of this game, it's practically just as fast, because a lot of the adjustments, a lot of the adjustments that they made to this game really affected a weapon's base damage at this point, rather than just like which weapons are OP. And I landed up here again. I'll have to wait. I don't know how I do that, but I do.
Haven't landed it once.
I don't want to land that. I wasn't even holding forward to land up there. I wanted to land on the ground. I do a different timing than other people do to get into this area. But usually if I land up there, I don't land the rock drop, so I'm just not going to be greedy here, and I'm going to wait just forever. Green, you want to talk about rocks?
Yes. So this giant boulder Bagel is about to shoot is what we call an environmental trap. There's different variations of them, but the big thing you need to know is they give us a huge knockdown and do 5% of the monster's health. So whenever we have the chance to use one, we are absolutely going to capitalize on it. So here you can see Bagel doing his primary damage combo with Sword and Shield, which is called Perfect Rush. We like Perfect Rush for... That was disgusting.
SNS is a miniature shotgun.
Yes. Yeah, before I talk about Perfect Rush, let's talk about what he did at the end there. We mentioned that when the expansion came out, they didn't really scale everything for low and high rank. That was what we call a slinger burst. Specifically with piercing pods, the damage is set and independent of your attack value, and is scaled for master rank, which is 2 levels above this. So it just decimates things in low rank and even in high rank. So anytime a monster drops a piercing pod, we are absolutely going to take advantage of that.
And the nice thing too is that Sword and Shield is categorized as a light weapon, which means it can drop pierce pods using a mechanic called tenderizing. Not always, but most of the time it can do that. Reminder that if you want to see more Monster Hunter shenanigans, because we'll have plenty of time, honestly, the donation incentive for HoginaFrog is active right now. If we meet that by the end of the run, I will do a HoginaFrog at the end of this. If you guys don't know what that is, there's an adorable little pig in this game. His name is Poogie, and he has a costume where he is a frog. And if you haven't seen it, this is your chance. Now's the time. But HoginaFrog is essentially a speed run to get that outfit as fast as possible.
Yeah. Excuse me, the goal for HoginaFrog is $150, and we're at currently 0 for that right now.
0, a travesty.
Yeah. I guess I could put Texas Main's donations towards that if it's okay.
It's your event, right? Your rules.
Yes, Switax Main did make another donation too, under sad Switax Main,
Oh.
for $4.20 that said, I guess Sword and Shield is fine if you're a coward. I forgot to mention that one, sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah. All right. So this is a type of quest that's called an expedition. This game introduced a really neat thing where you could... Ooh, it's time! Where you could go into the game. You could go into an area and hunt freely without worrying about a time limit or dying a couple times. I am very excited because we just got very good RNG here. With some weapons, having this Anjanath here is very fast. Essentially, we're going to skip a bunch of levels of... I need you a little bit further forward. Come on. Just a little bit further. Alright, that's good. So, Defender weapons, their upgrades are tied to assigned missions. Later when we fight an Anjanath, we'll have a guaranteed drop rate for a Anjanath scale. Or I can wallbang this guy right here, get this shiny material, and bang! Dang. Alright, well we tried. There's a chance to get a scale off of that. That scale is a huge DPS gain for where we are in the game. Essentially, we're getting that upgrade 4 quests before we're supposed to. It's amazing. For a weapon like Sword and Shield, and there's a couple others, that is a great upgrade to get. But unfortunately, we didn't get it. But if you see it, if you see it, you always go for it. So we do have to fight one thing here. Its name is Kuliaku, and its game is standing perfectly still when it gets flashed. Monsters have unique AI sometimes interacting with certain things. And Kuliaku's is the most interesting when it comes to flashes. Alright. Gonna make sure I move here correctly. I'm gonna do some weird movement here. It's gonna look strange at least. But I am getting just more equipment to create traps and tranks. We're about to do that, so Green, do you want to explain that while I figure out what to do against this thing?
So this will be the first instance of capturing a monster. You saw against Great Jagras we did just outright kill it, which is fine, but there's a few reasons we don't want to do that. The first is you may have noticed the end quest timer that appears when you defeat a monster. When you kill a monster, it's 60 seconds. When you capture a monster, it's only 20 seconds. So that by itself is guaranteed 40 seconds of time save. On top of that, a monster is ready to be captured once it reaches 30% health. So that's 30% of its health that we don't need to damage through. which is another guaranteed time save. So here he's placing a trap and using 2 trank bombs, and the monster is...
Woo! Speedy. So, I will say this. There is going to be some ad-lib to this, but for the most part, I actually know how many PR combos I have to do to make the monster capture ready. But there is one other tell that I have. It is the red slinger ammo that dropped there. Earlier, when Joggers dropped it, I picked it up and used it against the monster to kill it. But against every monster, excluding one of them that we'll fight, if a monster drops 2 of those red slinger ammos, it is capture ready. The time that those drop is linked to HP. The one exception to that rule, Juratotus, it'll actually be just before that. It's like 32% health versus the 30 that we need. Capture ready is 30%. So I'll have to damage it a little bit more, and then we'll be good. But I can use those kind of like as a tell, you know, it's capture ready, get it. If I don't think I have the 30% threshold met yet. The other tell is the monster will limp away, but that takes a little bit longer. In low rank and high rank, monster transitions are based on time and quest, or really the amount of time the monster has been in an area. So if I take too long, they'll try to transition, but honestly, that shouldn't happen here. So I'm setting up for a small little optimization here. Anjanath. So Anjanath has invaded this quest. I have to get rid of him, or he will make my entire life a living hell. So I'm picking up a dung pod to kind of lure him away. I first got to get him into the area so I can get him out of the area. And then just kind of have to wait for him. He's going to do another roar here. Diagro roar. 1, 2. I think that's close enough. Bonk.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You're fine. So that's a wall bang. Using the clutch claw, as long as the monster is not enraged, which is a mechanic we'll talk about a little later, you can shoot all the slinger ammo you have and launch it forward, and if it hits a wall, it will take 2% of its health and give us a knockdown, which we are a big fan of. So here you can see why we like Perfect Rush so much, or PR. It times out almost perfectly to how long a claw stagger lasts, which is this animation. If you clutch claw onto the monster while it's in this animation, it will extend it by 6 seconds, which is just about how long a Perfect Rush takes to complete, assuming you don't time everything perfectly. The reason we like this is the final hit does a lot of part break damage, which against most monsters, assuming you hit the right body part, will just chain it right into another clogger.
YOLO. Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Cool. That could have been a lot cleaner. Ideally, what will happen is that we'll chain claggers into each other. We'll get just claw stagger after claw stagger after claw stagger, or a claw stagger into a topple. Depending on the monster, it just depends on the monster. The game, this is like really in-depth Monster Hunter knowledge. So if you ever play this game casually, ignore everything I'm saying now. But it is kind of cool because it's the kind of stuff that we think about when we're dealing damage and how we're dealing damage. So monster parts, the head, the wings, the body, the tail, even like sometimes like the chest, forelegs, back legs, stuff like that, all have a value associated with them called the hit zone value. Even with that, they have this their own like health gauge, their own like part break gauge, and their own status gauges. So stuff like trips and flinches. It's very in depth. A lot of speedrunning, when you have full scripts, is designed around abusing and taking advantage of all of those things. So chaining together certain status effects. For us, we're going to be aiming for the head mostly, which for most monsters shares a clagger and a topple animation. It alternates between those two, and so we're going to try to time our damage with the animations to make sure that while it's in a clagger animation, we wait for the animation to stop before we actually deal damage. All timing stuff. Whew. Always love explaining that. It's like getting anyone to explain frame rules in Mario speedruns. There's a bus. So this is the best kind of quest. Capcom knew exactly what they were doing when they named it this. You may have noticed I watched a cutscene there because I have to. This is thematically the worst kind of quest. Not only can we not skip the cutscene that's associated with it, it's also an auto-scroller. So we're going to be taking a lot of this time to do a lot of gathering. About like 60 or 70% of the gathering that we do in the run is done right here. It's actually quite a bit. And we'll get the majority of the materials that we need to finish the run here. Excuse me. But that cutscene at the beginning, we can't skip it for one very weird reason. If we use the mod and we skip that cutscene, the quest soft locks. It just doesn't work anymore. For some reason, we have no idea why, or else we would be skipping it. But Capcom knew what they were doing when they named it the best kind of quest, because it's quite literally the worst kind of quest.
Yep. So you'll notice we're nowhere near that cart. We can, for the most part, just ignore it. There are 2 checkpoints we have to meet it for, so the gathering we do is actually routed around hitting that specific positioning. But for most of this quest, we're just going to ignore it and gather what we need.
Yeah. And it's kind of neat, too, when you're doing add-ons versus no add-ons. No add-ons means I can't use the defender weapon. I can't use this defender gear, which we didn't talk about. The defender gear is actually really neat. So it's that blue and red looking stuff that I'm wearing. It gives me 3 levels of 3 skills that are very comfy. When we say comfy, they're like defensive, and they just make playing the game a lot easier. One of them is Health Boost 3, which increases the amount of health that we have in a quest. Another one is Divine Blessing 3, which will occasionally reduce the amount of damage that we take. And the other one is Stamina Runner, or Marathon Runner 3, which reduces the amount of stamina that we use while we're continually depleting stamina. So it's mostly for like sprinting, then there are some weapon mechanics that gradually deplete your stamina. We replaced that with 2 pieces. One piece that gives us attack boost 1, just a small damage optimization, and then another that gives us heavy artillery, which is... We'll talk about that later. All right, last thing there. And that. But yeah, it's kind of neat because in no add-ons, we have to go out of our way to gather different materials here. We'll gather like a lot of bone materials here. It's definitely a different thing. It's a lot tighter of a routing, where the routing with add-ons with the defender gear, we get to kind of take our time. Getting from place to place is very nice. Oh, nothing there. But if you have any announcements or any donations or anything like that to read, now is a great time because we're going to be running around for a bit, not really doing too much else other than meeting these checkpoints.
Definitely have some announcements. So, Slurpathon is raising money for Extra Life, which raises funds for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Proceeds go to the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation. Last year we raised $5,699 for Extra Life, and this year our goal is $6,000. So get those in. Extra Life brings together thousands of gamers around the world to play games in support of their local Children's Miracle Network hospital. Since inception in 2008, Extra Life has raised over $70 million for sick and injured kids.
An amazing cause. I always try to do something for or with Extra Life every year.
Oh, definitely. It's great.
All right, so we are essentially doing the exact same routing path that we did. We're just doing it again. The nice thing about this game is that items in the world are on a respawn timer, and all of that time is exactly the respawn timer. It's incredibly convenient. I always say that the routing this game came really naturally because of how convenient the route already was, and just what you had to do and when you had to do it anyways. Unlike other RPG games or action-adventure games, we don't ever have to stop to do like a hard grinding session, and in fact all of that's just done during the quests. The game is designed really well to remove a lot of tedium, and that's saying a lot for a game like Monster Hunter, because this game is literally the definition of tedium. But a lot of it was removed in this generation of the game, in this version of the game, and it really does, like, you know, just how naturally all of this flows. Like you'll realize it too, just watching. Like, wow, he doesn't have to like go and farm for anything. He doesn't have to go and do anything else. Like it's literally just, you know, movement and monster rush, and it makes for a fun experience. So we are coming up to the final checkpoint, which is the fight. This has a fun little start that I figured out a really long time ago. But we can place a pitfall trap in a very specific spot, which is where the next monster spawns. And at the start of the quest, he will fall directly into it. And that gives us an opener against him to start building up a, you know, our first clagger. Like we mentioned, pretty much everything is routed around that clagger. So a lot of the openers to these fights are going to be designed around, you know, getting that first clagger. How do we get that first clagger? How do we get our first big moment of control? Sometimes it's a wall bang, sometimes it's a pitfall trap, sometimes it's a mount, right? There's a lot of different options that you can do. There's always options in this game, which makes it fun. But we have this pretty much routed out in a way that these are consistent openers. But yeah, Green, am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
Man, really is a lot of dead time.
Yeah. This next monster is interesting though, because
this next monster's awful.
One of the only monsters in this game where its head is not its weak point. Its head is actually terrible, and we want to not hit it. Unfortunately, the hitbox for the head likes to clip into the hitbox for the arm, which is what we want to hit. So this fight requires very careful positioning.
Ow! Got it anyways, we're good. The bugs tried to troll me.
As they do.
Perfect timing. Alright, claw uppercut the hand. Thank you, game. Dang it. So that's kind of a YOLO right there. Oh, I actually got it twice. Let's go.
So it's a little hard to tell, but you may notice that its hands are kind of white and scratched up now. That's because of a mechanic called tenderizing. Most weapons, all weapons can do it. Sword and Shield has a very specific way to do it, but essentially, when you clutch onto the monster, you can do a... I
got hit by the two highest stagger movements in the game, so that just happens. Get closer. I just need to land this finisher and I can capture. Oh, I hit the head. Neat. Alright, I'm capturing anyways. YOLO. There's no way we mess up here. Nice. There's a lot of... there is no reason that should have worked. I only dropped one pod, and I was waiting for the second one. Pod drops are kind of weird. They always don't drop at those HP thresholds, but instead they will drop... they won't drop if we hit a gray zone, so it's a bad hit zone. Like I was talking about earlier, each part has its own hit zone value. That value determines what damage we do to it, so that kind of tells us what's a weak zone and what isn't. Its head is a very low hit zone value, so we get gray numbers off of it. Whereas its arms is a very high hit zone value, so we get orange numbers off of it. And you can kind of, you know, keep along because the big numbers are cool to see and the small numbers suck. Big numbers means going faster. All right. Sinister Satyr, that's right. Juratotus. Okay, so this fight is awful for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons that I talked about earlier was that it drops 3 pods at 32% health, so I have to do a little more. So pod drops are a hard way to figure out, is it cap ready or not? The other reason it sucks is that we fight this thing practically in the water the entire time. So those Monster Hunter 3U fans, rejoice, water fights are back. The problem about that is that not only does it make us move slower, it also means we can't place a trap. So I have to find some land or like a beach or something to place a trap. So So it just makes this fight a lot harder, a lot less consistent. But this fight's kind of cool because when he reaches those HP thresholds and he drops his powerful slinger, he drops something called a Thorn Pod, which when you hit it, it deals KO damage, and KO damage to the head means you can get a stun. And stuns are just another form of control against a monster. So during this fight, we're going to use knockdowns, claggers, and stuns, and this thing will hopefully, if I do everything right, never move. Do it right. I did something right. I am on a weird side. But it's fine. This'll work. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little far
There's
forward.
wallbang like we saw before on Pookie. Bagel did actually get good luck there. That wallbang is RNG based. There's 2 or 3 moves it can do that'll just cause that to fail.
Sorry, may I interject to read a donation?
Go for it.
We have a $50 donation from Stunt Rooster. Thanks, Stunt. This is Proto9. So I'll put that towards that. Thank you so much. Also, that puts us over 1,000 raised. Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
That's
1,000
amazing.
raised, let's go.
Yeah. We're 1/6 of the way there. Let's go again. And back to you.
So there's the Thorn Pod, and there's the KO. So a KO really is, it's a knockdown. That's all we really care about it for.
I think it's ready. Oh, I missed. Yeah, it's ready. No, it pushed me into the water! It's definitely ready, right? Famous last words. Alright. That was a very good Juratotus fight with Sword
That
and
was a
Shield.
very clean fight.
It didn't move ever. Alright, so Juratotus is done. That fight can go horribly awry. If he gets to the other side of the arena, not only is he in deeper water, but also he is next to fish, and the fish hate us, and the fish bother us, and so we just stay away from that. So that went really well. We played on the edge of a transition zone. Transition zones are like small areas, and each area between areas, they're like hallways between rooms, and if a monster gets in that hallway, he will like to move to the next area. When that happens, the AI stops, and he stops attacking us, and he completely ignores us, and he tries to get away from us, and we don't like that. So that fight went really well, all things considered.
Well,
next, yeah, you know what, you talk about this one. Yeah, because he sucks. I hate this fight.
This is the other monster where we don't want to hit the head. We want to hit his tail, which is very awkward because your positioning against a monster will bait different attacks. And positioning next to Tobikadachi's tail will bait attacks we really don't like.
Yeah. There's a
Not
tail
only
slam
that-
attack that does like a splash damage around it that also will one-shot me even with the armor that I'm wearing if I don't get lucky. It's just, we don't want that.
He also likes to just jump around trees and not let you hit him a lot.
So what I was talking about earlier is like having consistent openers. This is one of the fights where there isn't a consistent opener, and the consistent opener is kind of based on RNG. We need him to kind of stand still when the fight starts. I'm going to put down bombs to weaken a leg. That's to get the part break threshold on that leg almost broken, and then when I go and attack the leg, I want it to break. If the leg breaks, then we have a great opener and we can go nuts. If the leg doesn't break, crying will commence. Yeah, probably just scream internally and yell at it. Tobikadachi is actually one of my favorite designs in this game, even though it's like one of my least favorite hunts. There's also a bird here that can block this shot. Good, we didn't get birded. Hey, look, he stood still. Just gonna wait for that attack to be done. That leg is almost broken. Hey, look at that.
There it is.
Alright, I missed the tail there, but this is okay.
So this is another powerful thing of...
Literally
Here's that
baited the tail.
backflip we were talking about.
Oh, he tried to do it again. Let's go.
But you may have noticed some monsters at this level of the game do have a powerful roar that will stagger the character. Another powerful thing about Perfect Rush is that you have to do a little backwards hop or back hop to get into it. The back hop has
I gotta trip
iframes.
before the clagger. Alright. YOLO.
Whoa.
All right.
I've got another donation here, if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
We got a $100 donation
Woo.
from Matt Hughes Struggle. There's a HoginaFrog incentive. Let's put a HoginaFrog.
Let's do it. That's 2/3 of the way to the HoginaFrog incentive. I'm just saying.
Heck yeah.
Put that hog in that frog. It's a pig in a frog costume. What's not to love? What's my script with SNS for this fight? Is it I guess I do. I just start with the sleep, don't I?
Lovely. That's what everything that's not Switch X does.
Yeah, I guess. Alright. So the next fight is Anjanath. Remember at the beginning of the game where we saw that big pink lizard attack the Great Jagras, the big green lizard? We get to fight him now. T-Rex, Jurassic Park reject. This is the first use of a status that we'll use. I think it's the only use of a status that we'll use. We're going to put the monster to sleep. Green, I'll let you talk about that while I do this.
Yeah. So, all statuses work similar to Blast, where it's a threshold you have to build up. The one we're interested in is Sleep. So, the monster falls asleep, as you'd expect. The reason we care about this, though, is not only is it holding still, the next hit that does damage to it will deal double the damage. So you may recognize the area we're going to as the place where we dropped that rock on Great Jagras. You may also remember this rock does 5% of the monster's health. So combine that with the sleep, and that is an instant 10% damage that we're starting this quest out with.
I think that's close enough.
Now Bagel's placing a trap right here for a very specific reason. While in the boulder knockdown, Anjanath is actually immune to traps. And it's positioned in a way that when he stands up from the boulder knockdown, he'll immediately fall back into it. So it gives a very long total amount of CC here.
Oh, I went the wrong way. Got it. Let's go.
Very nice Clogger.
Got it. Let's go. Can't gamer on him like that. Can like that, though.
So right there, Bagel used a special type of sling arrow called a Scatternut. It flinches the monster. Which when combined with Perfect Rush, which you can do out of a Slinger Burst, gives you a decent opening.
It's mostly a YOLO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Go up, go up, go up. Yes! Alright, we get to show off the cool strategy.
Yes.
Hey, Flash Pod's OP. Just remember that.
So if a monster is hit by a flash pod while it's in the air, regardless if it's a monster that can technically fly, it falls down. So we utilize that here as it tries to climb up this wall to keep it on the floor.
I'm going for it. Nice.
Nice.
So conserving resources here is really important. So I kind of greed to these things just to make sure I'm not using a lot of the things I'm going to need later. Flash bugs are really important when we get kind of towards the end of the run. But with SNS, we can kind of mostly ignore that. But still, that's just... that just feels good. So that's the last big hunt of the category that we call one for the history books. This game is really long, and when we didn't have cutscene skip mod and when this game was still on console, this game was a lot longer. So we broke the game down into 3 categories. One for the history books, also called Zora 1. A Colossal Task, also called Zora 2, and then a Land of Convergence, Xeno %. That's the full any %. The other 2 partial any % usually had a lot more popularity because they were, faster. But now this runs under 3 hours. It's much more manageable. It used to be closer to 4 or 5. But this is the last hunt of history books of Zora 1. Excuse me. This is Zora Madros. You may remember him from the very beginning. He wrecked our boat. We're trying to get that insurance claim, but he still won't give us his information. We're going to get it from him right now. This entire hunt is really weird. It's kind of like a siege hunt. It has different phases and different triggers that it has to meet to be completed. This one's really weird. Zora has to do 2 attacks. He has to take a certain amount of damage, and he has to reach a barrier. Those are the triggers that we're going to try to get to. It's more or less an auto scroller with precise movement. So we're going to be trying to make this as fast as possible by, canceling the animations that he has that are attacks at specific intervals and not flinching him when we don't want him to flinch. So the first thing that we do here is shoot something called the ballista, the binder ballista. It's a big harpoon with a rope on it. No matter what, in this first area, this first phase of the siege, one of these will get shot. But they all last kind of different durations. What I just did there is called early binder. The game's not really expecting us to do that, and so the interaction with Zora being bindered all the way back there is kind of weird. This is the shortest binder animation. The longest one is if we let him get to the barrier and the NPCs shoot the binder. And then the second longest is if we let him get to the barrier and we shoot the binder. But if we just do that there, we don't have to worry about any of that. That, stipulation of the quest has been satisfied. These winged drakes here are kind of annoying. We just get rid of them. Get out of here, kid. They'll hit us around, knock us about. We just don't want to deal with that. They're annoying. But this game is tricky, right? It wants you to go slow here. It wants you to savor this experience, but we've done it so many times that we don't want to do that anymore. If you listen to the NPCs and you just shoot the cannons wildly, you shoot binders all over the place, you get on its back, you break all of its pimples, you beat it up as much as you can because the game tells you, yes, hurt the monster, beat it up, that's how you win the game. It'll take close to 45 minutes. We're not going to do that. We're going to do this in, 13? 12? 12:31?
12 and a half.
Yeah. 12 and a half minutes. We're gonna do it that instead. There was a time where we didn't know how to do this quite yet, and it is very possible that this isn't even the fastest version of this. But this is the fastest version of this that exists thus far. So I'm waiting for a specific movement here. I call it Big Step. When Big Step ends, I shoot this cannon to get a stagger. Ideally, he staggers on the 3rd cannonball that hits. But that's just kind of like a minor optimization thing. Nice. I got it. So you may have noticed those cannonballs did 180 damage there. I was mentioning a skill earlier called heavy artillery. That makes cannons do a little more damage, damage and a half actually, so do 270 instead. The second time that we have to fight this guy, we're going to use those then, and it's going to greatly increase the speed of the quest. So next here, Zora wants to shoot a fireball loogie at a cannon that's behind us. We don't want him to do that, so the moment that animation starts, we're going to shoot the cannon to stop him from doing that. He's kind of in a weird position. He might stagger back in the wrong direction, which is unfortunate, but that's kind of RNG. Alright, so there's that animation. So now we have to do two things here. Break his chest. And then we're going to get one more stagger, and that's going to eat up all of the animation and AI that he's going to be doing here, and he's going to transition to that barrier. This is a culmination of a lot of testing and a lot of making mistakes. And figuring out what works. It's really funny, a lot of the optimizations in this game that are found from mistakes. So I'm going to be listening for an audio cue here that's going to tell me if I got a fast Zora or if I got a slow Zora. Whoops, I want those back. Means I have something extra in my inventory and I don't know what it is. What is it? I actually have no clue. Heck if I know.
Have to know. So one interesting thing about this quest is there is actually a health gate, but we hit it just as a side effect of what we're doing to cancel his animation, so we really don't have to worry about it. However, in the second time we fight him, there is a massive health gate we're gonna have to get through.
Still waiting for that voice line. It looks like I did not get a fast Zora. There it is. It's a little... I don't know if that's on time or if that's a little slow. It seems a little slow. I can usually tell about where I am in this menuing selling all this equipment. I don't need to do this. This is just kind of carryover from when I was doing this run no add-ons, pre-Defender gear. 3 large bones, a pelt, and 18 iron ore. Good, we did it. We needed 7 iron ore, at least 2 large monster bones, and an Anjanath pelt at a minimum here to get all of the item RNG that we need to get through this game. We can live without those things, it just takes longer, but this is optimal RNG right here. So there's the barrier destruction. Now we're just waiting to get on Zora's back. The next part here, the NPCs are going to be saying, break its cores, do it, you have to break the cores, stop Zora Magdaros. We're not doing that. We're absolutely not doing that. Because every time you break a core, Zora Magdaros flinches, and he stops moving. That's not what we want to do. So we're just going to ignore them entirely. Instead, I'm going to be running around and doing some mining. That mining's going to be used to make those legs that I was talking about. The high metal greaves that gives us that heavy artillery that we'll need on the second Zora Magdaros fight. So in the interim, this is also a great place to, talk about donations and upcoming incentives and the cool runs that don't have 10-minute long auto scrollers in them that you can't do anything during.
I can do that. So we're exactly $19.80 away from our HoginaFrog donation incentive, which get that Poogie into a frog. HoginaFrog.
We need it.
Thanks. Yeah. And we got an upcoming Ninjala run, which for don't skip cutscenes, that's $150 that we have not had anything towards yet. And then naming incentives for backyard skateboarding, and Crypt of the Necrodancer Amplified. We got a whole ton of stuff for that. Choosing soundtracks, and that's for the next few runs. And then there's the Taiko no Tatsujin, which I think is that today. That'll be tomorrow. Oh, and in Dallas tomorrow too.
Ooh,
But
turn it.
Donations can still go towards those for tomorrow.
There we go. A lot of amazing incentives to meet for some very cool speedruns.
Indeed. Lots of frogs in the chat right now.
Frog, frog, frog.
Frog, frog, frog.
I'm telling you guys, if you've never seen Poogie in the frog costume, this is the perfect time to see it. This is the fastest you'll ever see it.
Indeed.
Add more frogs to the chat here.
So the end of this hunt, as we can talk about the speedrun again, or we can keep talking about frogs. But the end of this hunt has a cool little thing that, I mean, I love. This is like my only contribution to this speedrun, which is Nergigante Quick Kill. I call it a quick kill because I think it's cool, and at the time I was speedrunning A Hat in Time, and that game has a bunch of quick kills, and so I was like, you know what, I'm calling this Nergy Quick Kill. If you find it, you get to name it, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
So it's a neat little optimization, and we kind of take advantage of how the game repositions you. Think of it as like death warping, right? We're going to fall off of them. We're going to warp back to a specific spot. We're going to use that as a marker to place stuff. You could do it without that, but I just think it looks cooler this way. So the quick kill involves trying to repel Nergigante as fast as possible. He has a health gate that you have to meet to get rid of him. Attacking him is kind of slow, so the faster thing to do is do exact damage to him, which is 2 barrel bombs and 3 small barrel bombs. Do that to him, and he leaves. And that's the quick kill. That's it. It's very easy. You dodge a roar, and that's it. And that's my contribution to the speedrun. They all are winners.
This will also be the first time since that initial tutorial you'll get to see stealth. We'll be equipping a special item called the Ghillie Mantle, which will make Bagel invisible until his bombs explode or he attacks the monster.
What's extra in my inventory? I have no idea.
Gongpa, no?
No, would have him anyways. I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. All right, I'll show off. I'll show off SNS tech. We'll just do fancy SNS stuff. Here, hold on. Heh. Oh, nope, still didn't do it. All right, let's try it this way. There we go. Quick turn PR. It's like a 2-frame window that you can turn the PR around. It's all timing, and it's very hard to do, and every now and then I'll do it when I want to, and it feels really good. Man, this weapon doesn't have cool tech like Greatsword does. I can't do dodge, tackle, slap, TCS. Or dodge, tackle, slap, slinger burst, TCS.
Listen, we have our turn PRs and our draw into claw uppercuts, and we're happy with that.
You also have your draw into PR.
Yeah.
This weapon has, like, all the weapons that can guard have really cool tech about how you can pull them out. But specifically Greatsword and SNS do that the best. They just have very unique tech that's all positional based. This game gets really intense when you start looking at high level optimized play. And we try to replicate some of that in this speedrun, but for the most part, a lot of it isn't required. Towards the end of the run, though, we're going to be doing full locks against Elder Dragons. And when I say a full lock, I mean the Elder Dragon just doesn't get to move ever. It is a treat for sure. Alright, so we're coming up to the end of this hunt. Slide down here, gather this because we can. All right, we're gonna put our ghillie mantle on. It's like I was talking about. We kind of position ourselves here, so when Zora gets hit by this scripted, binder attack, we fall off, and we're gonna land on his neck. That's going to teleport us onto his back and put us in a very specific location, so I can find the poop rock. It's lovingly named. So this strategy used to didn't work until I figured out or found that if you're holding forward while placing bombs, you place bombs faster. Normally, if you aren't holding forward, you only have time to place 2 bombs, but if you hold forward, you have time to place all 3. Easiest dodge of my life. 1, 2, 3. Dodge away. Dang. That hit? Yeah. Alright, and that's Zora 1. 102. Not a bad time. RTA.
Not bad at all.
It's like a 101.
Yes.
Alright, so now we move into the second half of low rank. This is Colossal Task. This is the dreaded portion of the run because it's the hardest portion to script. We have half scripts for a lot of these, or inconsistent scripts, and it's just because of how monsters interact with the environment, how the environment interacts with us, how really just the game is. The game hates us here. So we're going to do our absolute best to steamroll through these next 6 hunts. 4 of them are legitimately, though, just RNG fest.
Yeah. So here the game is super nice. They know we've been just standing still on Zora's back for the last 6 minutes. So they teach us how to walk again.
They remind us that, hey, L to move. Really? Oh, thank goodness you reminded me an hour into the run.
Oh, we have a donation. We have $10 from .VIII. Hello, JalBagel. A very important bagel question. Do you like everything bagels? Also, frogs make the sound. Bibbit, bibbit, bibbit. Sour, please. Put this towards Pog and the Frog. Please, thank you, awesome host. I can do that. Thank you.
Everything bagels are undeniably the best bagel. You cannot tell me I'm wrong. The second best bagel is a blueberry bagel. I am an expert on this matter. It is literally in my name. So you can't argue with me.
I'm sorry. You call yourself an expert, and yet you completely ignore the plain bagel.
Yes. Plain bagel is too boring. All right, so this is the research base. It is a boat floating in the sky. That's just what it is. That's just what it does. But we love the research base. It is the best hub area in the entire game. We didn't really talk about that, but this game's like hub-based, right? Like, you can always go back to a hub, you do your upkeep, and then you go out on a hunt. All the games have always been designed like that. They're really neat. But the research base is the best hub because it has all the same facilities as Astera, but it's literally a quarter of the size. So to do, all the things in Astera that we would do if we just do them in the research base, it takes literally a quarter of the time. It is awesome. So this expedition is similar like the other ones. We have a couple of objectives to meet, and between those objectives, we do some gathering. And this just comes back to like what I was saying, like the routing of this game just felt so fluid and so natural that, the things that we needed, like, oh boy, like, okay, the thing that we need next here is Thunderbug, and sure enough, this area has 3 Thunderbug all next to each other, and we only need 1 per hunt, so we come to this area twice, and so we can gather 6 total right here. It's insane. That's good for this entire section. The convenience of this speedrun is insane. The convenience of the routing is crazy. But this area, we have to spot that blue lizard called the Zitsuyaku, and just go up here and unlock this camp. And then we can leave and go fight the annoying, aggressive bat that's also a balloon.
Oh, we love him.
No, we don't. Take it back.
No, we don't. We really don't.
When should I use the pitfall on him? Because I keep forgetting to use the pitfall here. I guess I just use it, huh? Just like whenever I want.
Yeah.
Yo, jalapeno cheese bagels, though. Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Whoops, accidentally saved. I'm doing a small optimization where I have manual saving turned on. So to do that, I have to be hitting X and then hit circle for one input to not save. It's a small optimization that saves a bit of time overall, but doesn't lose us too much overall. All right, so balloon troubles. Oh no, balloon problems. Dang, that was close. This starts with a scripted wallbang, and then after that, you know, pray. Try that again. There we go. Right here, we're doing our first upgrade. So now that we have fought in Anjanath, we can upgrade our sword and shield. I almost forgot to do this. Make those greaves real quick, and we are good. So that upgrade increases our damage, increases our blast ailment, and increases our sharpness. 3 things that just make us do more damage all the time. Yeah, I don't need here. We're SNS. We don't need ever. So mechanic that we are looking over right now that we'll do towards the end of the run in high rank is eating. We just ultimately skip that because it doesn't really speed up anything for SNS. It gives us a small attack bonus, but on top of that, it also gives us more stamina and more health. But I'm confident in my abilities. I don't need those things, so I'm just gonna more or less ignore them. But this is a hunt that I actually do usually eat on with other weapons because of how I think they're scripted. I just don't have enough testing on it to really figure out, you know, exactly how to script out this fight perfectly. A lot of it is RNG, and the weapon that we usually use here in world record attempts, both Greed and I, we use Switch Axe at this point. It's inconsistent about how it deals damage, but, you know, Sword and Shield's a lot better at dealing damage. Hello, I am not holding slinger ammo.
If you go wide here to the right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it during the cutscene.
Oh.
Because you can. Have enough stamina? Easy.
Who needs stamina?
Alright, we're good.
So, Palumu is awkward for a couple reasons. Primarily is that he's really the first fight that we can't clogger lock. After 1 to 2 cloggers, he'll just do a head flail, and that is not nearly a big enough opening to do perfect rush or really any big attack in order to get your next claw stagger. So he is just kind of hit it and pray. So there's that head flail. And that is an attack we call runnies. We hate runnies because the monster's entire body turns into a hitbox, so there's just nothing we can do while it's happening.
KO in the trap. Extended trap duration.
Very
Let's go.
clean.
That would have been sick if that animation had ended, so I just need to wait. Oh boy, I'm getting pushed around everywhere. So I got wind pressured by his movement and then wind pressured by his dumb tornado over there. Looking for that next pod. There it is. Nice.
Very clean fight.
Could have been better, but that's good. I already picked up that one. We are good on that. We can go ahead and make that. I will restock here in a second, and I should be short 1 sleeper, which I'll get on the next hunt. Cool. All right. So the next hunt is Radobon. Radobon is bad for a lot of reasons, but good for a lot of others. It's a fight that I like, but a fight that I also don't like because of, other creatures on the board in the area. With SNS, we shouldn't have a problem because we are super mobile. But with weapons like Great Sword and Switch Axe, you just stand perfectly still all the time. So you just get hit by the Banahabra, the giant mosquitoes that are there. And you get paralyzed, and then you just lay there forever. And then you get roared, and you continue laying there forever. And then you get hit, and then you are upset. We shouldn't have that problem with SNS. Right?
Sure.
So this is a cool opener, courtesy of Green, actually. Green, you found this opener.
I did not find this opener.
Who found this opener?
Moss?
Oh, courtesy of Moss TKM. This is fun. We can flash it here to put it into an animation that we can get a wallbang off of, because without it, it's not consistent. But now this makes it 100% consistent. Before it was 66% consistent. And a single flash pod makes it consistent. Re-equip that. Want that head to break. Good. There we go. He hasn't roared yet. Oh, cool. That was way too soon. Yeah, because I bounced there. Ow. Just gonna go over here. I don't like his positioning because we're right next to a hallway. Not to mention he's gonna go in the hallway. Can you, get out of there, please? So I just kind of got to, bait him back out. I'm trying to get a Clagger or something. I can probably get a KO right here, though. No, I can get a Clagger, though. Good. Huh. Huh. Don't mind me, I'm cheating. Oh gosh, I can't believe I missed that. Stop that. So I'm looking out for his first pod, because his first pod's a slinger ammo. It's a Pierce pod. There it is. We're gonna go ahead and equip that. Shoot it at the ground, make him stop moving, and then we're gonna shoot this 3 times. A lot of our scripting is around that first Pierce pod, and once we get it, it's pretty much game over for the monster. It's usually just 1 or 2 of the Pierce pods, and then it's capture ready. So there's one more thing that we have to do during this hunt, and that is spot a Great Gyros. Once again, conveniently enough, we need Parishrooms here, and they are on our way, literally on the way, to go and see this Great Gyros. Just once again, one of the amazing conveniences of this routing and this speed run. It really just does come naturally. It's a little out of the way to go and do that, as far as a direct line is concerned, but it is very convenient. You want to talk about the next hunt, Green?
Yes. So, this next hunt is unique because it's the first hunt in a long time that does not have a cutscene associated with it. So, rather than having to head to a specific area to spawn the monster starts out on the map and is just on a movement cycle. So, Bagel has a relatively tight cycle he's trying to make so that he can set up bombs when the monster lands and wallbang it into them for, I believe it's 5% health total.
Including the bombs, yeah.
Now, this is our first true flying monster. Polumu could technically fly, but this one will actually stay in the air for a while. So we'll be trying to use flash pods a lot.
Some free flash pods there. So eating and gathering those flash pods kind of keeps me on the cycle too. If I don't do those, I get there a little early, which is fine. But this is like the perfect alignment. It once again just works out really conveniently. Oh, I never really talked about might seeds, but they give us a small amount of attack for 3 minutes. And most of these hunts are faster than 3 minutes. So it's a nice little DPS bonus for the duration of the hunt. But I'm going to get up here, I'm going to put down these bombs, and then I'm going to eat the Might Seed, and then I'm going to wallbang the monster, and it's just going to be go, go, go from there. This fight is very reactive. You have to kind of move with the RNG, understand what's happening and when it's happening so you can correctly ad-lib. Or you do what Green does, flash it and pray, which works apparently. Somehow. It doesn't for me.
Works with Switch X, doesn't work with anything else.
So yep, we are literally perfectly on time here. I'll have, like, plenty of time to do this.
Now the reason we want to get here so early is while the monster is landing, it's actually just
What am I doing?
locked in this animate. I don't know.
I literally shot it and nothing happened. I think the... No, he ended up on the top. Alright, this is okay. This is really bad because I don't really want to fight him here, but I also just don't want to waste the time, like, trying to reposition. So heal and Rage Roar after this. Probably get a trip here. Nope, because he's gonna runnies. That's really unfortunate, dude. I like straight up just Pepega'd on that. I need him to get down though now, which is really unfortunate because like I don't want to fight him up there, so I'm just gonna wait. Alright, well, we get that damage off at least. I'm already ice blighted, idiot. Uh-oh.
Now you may notice Bagel isn't actually using his flash pod the second the monster gets into the air. That's because, while all monsters do have it, this monster is notorious for it. There are certain attacks that a flash pod just defect the monster during. So he's waiting to make sure that it's not about to start an attack that will make it immune, and if it is starting an attack, he has to wait for it to end.
Oh, not a clogger. First pod, we're gonna dodge out of that and grab it. Because why actually fight him when we can just do this? Extend that clagger. Beautiful extension, by the way.
Very clean.
Beautiful. Nice. Other than messing up the opener, that was a very good Legiana fight. Oh, that was close. I just tried to land next to that Nullberry. And what wonders await us out here? No. Alright. Odegarin. That's the next one. Odegarin is a squirmy little boy. I call him Clifford, the big red dog. He literally is just non-stop movement, the animal. So a lot of what we're going to be doing is paying attention to our position and where, whoops, I hit B.
I call him up dog.
Up dog.
Yeah,
Hey, Slurpy, what's up dog?
exactly. We chillin'.
This is another one I eat on because since I can't get a full script against him, I have to kind of depend on just wiggling my sword at him a couple of times, and having that extra attack just kind of helps.
Of all the ways you could have described that.
I mean, SNS is just wiggling your sword at him. Come on.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
So this area is really convenient. We are kind of going out of our way here to do some extra gathering. Not only because there's flash bugs here and flash bugs are amazing, but because there's this mushroom right here, and we all know that mushrooms are great. Not for eating, just for having, because these make our bombs stronger, which really helps us out on Zora 2 for a very specific horn break. On Zora 2, we get to fight Nergigante again, and if we can break his horn there, it cuts out an entire cycle of gathering his tracks, which saves a minute. So for literally losing 0 time, we can save a minute. So we always go for horn break. That barrel bomb, that mega barrel bomb, helps us get that. Also, the advent of wallbanging. Before wallbangs, we could not do this. Alright.
JalBagel's utilizing stealth again.
No!
To put the monster into a locked animation, which gives him enough time to start the wallbang.
Wall? Wall!
The wallbang in this room is very awkward because 3 of the walls are not actually walls. 2 of them are actually vines that he'll just run through, and 1 is a hole in the wall that he'll just kind of run up against for a while.
Makes no sense. That's unfortunate. Wiggling my sword at him. Hey, look, a clagger. Oh, I need to get out of this hallway. Hey, stand in that? Thanks. Got something there.
And still hit the head somehow.
Alright, so I'm looking out for my first pod now, because he also drops Pierce pods, and once he does that, it's over. Don't hurt me, thank you. Just gonna make sure that we dodge that. Oh, he's just doing an extra attack here. He's actually cheating. He just did 5 attacks in a row. Nice clagger.
Clean finish.
Clean hunt in general. That was very good.
Yes.
Alrighty. And did these respawn? If they didn't, we knew we did it fast. Dang, we did it slow. We're slow.
Not perfect. How dare you?
I know. Alright, I finished my coffee. We're gamer mode now.
Oh.
Okay. So, earlier I talked about needing 2 large bones and 1 Anjanath pelt. That was to unlock a camp in the ancient forest called Camp 17. Camp 17 is like a really cool pivotal point of this speedrun. It more or less makes us do other things faster. because it puts us right next to them. Mainly, it's for the Rathalos hunt, which is the next hunt, and track gathering, which we'll get to. These guys are not in great positions, but I guess I'll take it. All right, we're good on everything. So we're going to take this winged drake all the way up to the top of the tree. Raise your hand if this is the first time you've ever seen this. A lot of people don't know you can do this in this game, and it's one of my favorite things to show off because it just looks fun. The number of times I've had people go like, I have 1,000 hours in this game and I never knew you could do that. It's honestly the most satisfying thing.
There's one more part like that coming up later.
Oh my gosh. You can do that. All right, so we're about to come up to a cutscene that we get to skip, and then we just unlock Camp 17, and we are good to go. Man, I love cutscene skip so much. Oh my gosh.
It's so nice.
We've only been doing this for an hour and a half, and we're already, like, this is halfway through the game. And if this was without cutscene skip mod, we'd be finishing Zora 1 right now.
So
Just
we
to put
could
it in
technically
perspective.
just stay on this expedition and hunt Rathalos. But he has 2 paths he can take before he gets back to his nest, and we really want to fight him in his nest. One of those paths does actually save like 10 seconds over the way we do this, but the other path loses a minute, so we just take the consistency.
It loses a minute. Oh, it's so funny.
Rathalos just loves to take off.
He just takes his time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have Camp 17 now. Do a quick little restock here. Come on, stop eating my inputs. But this is a really neat fight. I can't remember how many I do. I think I do 3, and then I slinger burst it. I don't remember. We'll ad lib.
So the reason we want to fight Rathalos in its nest is there is a environmental trap here called a waterfall. It does 5% like all the environmental traps do. The one awkward thing about it is that it does drop him off a very high cliff, and falling from high places in this game will give us a very long stagger that we don't like. Luckily, there's a way around that. When you're falling from a high place...
You love this optimization. I don't even know why.
I do. If you attack in midair, you just don't get the long animation. The one other awkward thing about this, though, this is considered a transition zone. So if there is any point where he is not toppled or flashed, he will try to leave. So it's very important that he stay flashed the entire time. So you'll actually see a lot of times Bagel not going for high committal moves, even if he technically has the opening for them, just to be safe.
Got a weird spot.
Quick back hop.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna matter there. No, bad back hop. Ugh, got a freaking shield bash. Wind pressure? Hello?
Does look like we're getting good RNG with the other monsters on the map, though. There is the chance that a Tobi Kadachi will be passing by, and he really likes to ruin your day. He'll just walk over. If you're lucky, he'll roar at you. If you're unlucky, he'll start attacking you.
Thank you. YOLO. Nice, Sue.
Nice.
Never punished for a YOLO.
That
Make
was
sure I
clean.
make that shock trap. Yeah, that one's it's really weird with SNS because I want to be ready for the flash pod slinger burst. This area is awful for flash pods. If you've ever played this game and you flashed a monster and you wondered why didn't my flash pod work? If your flash hits a wall, it doesn't exist. Don't know why, but that's just how the game is programmed. We have looked at it so many different ways. If a flash pod hits a wall, it doesn't exist. So I will usually aim for the ground or slinger burst it, and just to guarantee that it works every single time. But if we got the fight music there, and that's how I know that he has entered in rage state with me, which means I only have one other roar before he tries to leave the area. So I kind of use it as like an identifier, which is why I wasn't like going ham, like PR everywhere and all of that, because if I don't get a clagger and he is unflashed, he will just roar and then leave, and then I won't be able to do anything about it. And we don't like that.
Yeah, the walls probably absorb the flash bomb.
Oh yeah, that's just what it does. We don't know why it does that, but yeah, like if the flash just hits the wall, like it just does nothing. It makes no sense, because you can shoot it against the ground and it works. You can hit it on a ceiling and it works, but a wall? No. Very, very strange. So, Diablos, the what was that? What was that, Serpy?
I said walls are illegal.
Yeah, walls are illegal. And like I legitimately say this, the worst design of this game is walls.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Diablos. Diablos has a 1 in 3 chance to do this, and he did it. Pog.
Diablos has 2 other things he can do to start out. One is to dig immediately, which we're kind of okay with because we have a good way to deal with digging. The other one is to just immediately hop up to you, and we don't like that one at all. But that one we just got where he ran and got his head stuck in a rock, that one is ideal.
Wow, that wasn't a KO. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Now you may notice, now that he's gotten the KO, Bagel is actually not going for the head. Diablos is, I believe, the final monster in the run where his head is not his best hit zone.
Mm-hmm.
His best hit zones are the chest and tail.
Unless you're bow, and then it's the wings.
Yeah.
Yo, nice tail cut.
Oh, it was too soon. Dang. That's actually a scripted back hop that I was trying right there. Way too soon again. His roars last really long, too. If he's too high of an HP threshold, he'll roar during that flash every time. Now I have him in a really awkward spot. I want him to dig here. That's fine too. One of the things that I do a lot in this fight is tail baiting. There is specific AI that you can get by positioning appropriately around a monster. A tail bait is one of them. I'm going to get hit by that. That's okay, though. He's in Flash AI. So he just needs to do literally anything else. No. Just going to tap that, save the Flash. So while he's flashed, he can't burrow. And if he burrows, it destroys the shock trap. So we need to be really careful. Plus, if he's flashed, he won't transition. And if he transitions, we can't stop him with a Screamer Pod. There's actually a window to do it. It's like 6 frames. It's impossible to hit. And the fact that we didn't have to use Screamer Pods there at all was probably my best Diablos. I'm afraid to see what time this is. I'm actually terrified. This has been a really good run for me not having the auto splitter up. Oh, 331, neat. Okay. Anything sub 4 on this fight is really good.
Yes.
Dang, it's awesome.
Yeah, this has been a sick run. Oh, Green, do you remember PRs for
I sure do.
Oh, let's go.
Only spent like 6 hours routing this out.
So Zora 2 is a really weird fight. Unlike Zora 1, we actually do have to meet a much bigger damage threshold. So we're gonna attack the cores. As cringe as it sounds, we're going to attack the cores. We want to damage them. We don't want to break them. If we break a core, he stops moving. So we can deal a little over 800 damage to them without breaking them, but SNS is weird. The entire combo of SNS has a negative part break value. So it ends up that we get to deal more damage to it because the part just doesn't break, right? It's very, very strange. It's an interaction that we get to take advantage of here, though, because we are using SNS here. SNS is actually the fastest Zora 2 weapon, but it's not fast enough to route into every. It's not fast enough to route into like any weapon speed run. It was a little bit too slow to do it.
I did try. It doesn't work.
Yeah, we were trying to script in a scripted death and stuff like that to end up back at the camp. So we could get it, but it didn't really work out the way we wanted to. So this entire fight is really cool. It's routed based on a timer. The timer is Zora Magdaros. He has specific animations that he will do at specific times that we want to cancel with these big stalactites and stalagmites. We're gonna be in specific positions to break those, knock them onto Zora, and cancel other animations. On top of that, we're going to be trying to make sure that we, are dealing damage to the cores enough and going on our way. What was it? 4? You do 2 here, and then
You do 4 here.
I do 4, but I only have time for 2, right?
You do 8 total. You have time for 4 here as long as you get good core RNG.
And this is timed with finishers?
Timed with finishers, yes.
You can explain the rest of this fight.
Yeah. So, the big thing about Zora's cores is we can technically do... we can fit in more damage than we are doing to them, but we need to hit our cycles. So, Bagel's gonna... This core in particular, he's actually gonna come back and hit later on in the fight, but he needs to get to the top of Zora so he can drop these 2 rocks at a very specific time. Then after this, he has a core to hit and 1 more rock drop timing to hit, and then Nergigante will appear, and that's where we're going to use those Devil's Blight. We're going to get the Horn Break on Nergigante, and if he plays out of his mind, he'll get them.
That's absolutely not going to happen. How many is it here?
It is as many as you can fit. I've never managed to break it.
I think I have to leave after the third explosion.
Yeah, like it's 10 or I think it's 10 to break it, but you're not gonna fit 10. So the big thing we care about when Nergigante appears is the Horn Break. It is technically possible if you can somehow pull off dealing 30% of his health in, I believe it's under a minute. He'll leave incredibly early and save about a minute on the quest overall, but that's never been done in single player.
Yet.
Don't put that evil on me. I don't know how many I did, but I feel like I've done enough because I don't feel like standing down there and healing. I'd rather do it up here.
Yeah.
The cores do a lot of damage, and I didn't get lucky Divine Blessing procs, nor did I get lucky positioning. It is just kind of RNG how these cores explode. There's, like, I have a theory that they always explode in a certain pattern, but the patterns vary. But yeah, I've never sat here long enough to test it.
So that is the single most important rock drop of this hunt. If that rock drop misses, Zora will do a big explosion, which is bad for a lot of reasons. First off, it's a big explosion and it hurts.
It will kill
But it
me.
also, yes, not only that, it powers Zora up. So his cores will explode more frequently. And I haven't really seen it, but he's kind of shooting lava out of the top of himself sometimes. That lava does a lot more damage and it has a much larger hitbox when he's powered up.
So now I'm just waiting for a voice line. I can kind of tell when it's going to come based on the position of this rock. But it's going to be like all the way back there. It's going to happen here quickly, actually. I'm just going to stand here now. And then we are going to do Nergi.
The reason he wasn't dropping them right away is that they will flinch Zora, but if he waits till now, Zora is standing still anyways, so he loses nothing by hitting.
He's getting hit by that lava now.
Who's speedy?
Apparently. Yeah, it looks right.
There's a bit of RNG with Nergi here. You can make it work either way. One way is just much more consistent.
Yeah, it's a lot easier just because of how Clutch Claw works, and I got the good
Oh,
way.
look, you got the good way.
And I got the good flinch.
Yeah.
Cheating? And horn break.
Beautiful.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, huh. That hitbox actually hit me.
Huh?
Just gonna heal here to be careful. If I didn't get hit there, I could probably keep up the offensive. But getting hit there kind of sucks. Yeah, he's not giving me good RNG. Slapsies kind of suck. Oh well. But that's fine, as long as we get the horn break. I know I've dealt enough damage to make him transition. He lands down in the second area and immediately transitions. So I can come down here and hit Rock Friend. Green, who's Rock Friend, and why do we like him?
We like Rock Friend because he doesn't break. When Zora is in this position, this rock just doesn't break, but any damage it takes still gets applied to Zora. So we use this time to just feed on it. Since Zora's not moving anyways, we can't access any of his cores. There's nothing better to do, so why not get the damage in?
Nice, I got the extra little tap.
Beautiful.
I do 4 more here.
2 more.
I thought it was 8 total. 6?
That's without Bone Chest, and also you did 5 on your first pass.
So just 2 more?
Yeah.
Thought
You
I
can
did 4.
try a third. I am not confident on that, though.
Oh, I'm just not gonna. I don't want to break it.
Yeah.
I'm scared. Now none of us know how many I did.
I wasn't counting, sorry.
Counting is very important in this run.
Yeah.
Seems to be-
Later, we're going to count all the way to 30.
No. Don't hurt me. Oh, why did I turn?
Close.
Accidental SNS tech there, don't mind me.
When you're too good at the game.
Help. It's me. Too good at the game.
Now, we are actually going to break that rule of don't break the cores. Now that this voice line has occurred, breaking this core won't flinch Zora. So he doesn't have to worry at all about how much damage he's dealing.
Yeah, I couldn't get it anyways. SNS usually doesn't get it. It's just so much that SNS can do. Alright, ideally, if we did this right, we finish this in 3 cannons. I'm going to shoot one early, and then I just have to shoot 2 more, and then that's it.
Now, Zora does actually have to reach the barrier for the quest to end, even if his health has met the threshold. So... Bagel times one specific shot here that won't flinch him, but the rest of the cannons he's going to wait until Zora reaches the barrier to fire, just so he's not slowing Zora down as he tries to get to the barrier.
Wait, I could talk about our upcoming incentives.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So we're still $9.80 away from HoginaFrog percent.
HoginaFrog.
HoginaFrog. HoginaFrog. And we still have incentives for tomorrow and the rest of the marathon. There's Ninjala, don't skip cutscenes, backyard skateboarding, file names, the Necro Dancer, all kinds of soundtrack incentives, Taiko no Tatsujin, $5 Apollo Dab, no limit. I don't know what that is, but that's awesome. I need to actually figure that out. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That was sub 10.
No, nice.
I'm sorry, what?
Don't mind me, I'm cheating.
That's not... I wasn't aware that was possible.
This has never happened before.
This has literally
Not in
never happened
single player.
before.
The best time I've seen on a Zora in single player is 10:14.
He's speedy and also cheating. Don't mind me. Alright, so there's a quick restock here. We have to talk to the handler because she's annoying. Oh, I mean because she wants to tell us about a Pookie Pookie that's being weird. But technically Zora 2 is the first hunt of high rank, but we are officially in high rank now. Yay! We're out of the tutorial. We're doing it. This also begins track gathering, the worst part of the entire game. This is actually the part of the game where most people stopped playing. And I am so surprised to this day that no one else has made a guide on how to do this. And Green, why have we not done that yet? Because we're lazy.
We're lazy.
We're very lazy.
Yep, track gathering is the worst. Can confirm.
A lot of people stopped playing the game right here. It was so bad. It was the #1 least liked mechanic in the story that when Iceborne came out with the Iceborne update, they added more tracks to each of the patterns. So let's talk about that. Every monster that you have to gather tracks for has 3 distinct patterns in the area that it appears in. That means when we gather tracks, we are gathering for 4 monsters, that there are 12 distinct patterns that we have to memorize. These ones that we're gathering right now, they're static. These are set in place. We always just gather these. But in the next 2 quests that we go on, an expedition and an optional quest, they are random which of the 3 patterns it can be. So, just kind of gotta identify it, as fast as I can.
I guess that track gathering is very disruptive to the flow of the game.
Very much so.
Why so many people quit on it.
I didn't get the head!
Oh no.
That was just some good game knowledge. Whenever Pookie does that kind of weird head turn for the first time, he's always going to go to that plant, so Bagel took advantage of that.
Oh, running directly into a wall. My least favorite thing. me trying to turn a PR and it didn't work. Ugh, get the head! Why do I keep getting the neck?
Clutch claw targeting.
So this fight's kind of sloppy, but it is what it is. We just kind of have to watch our health here now. If I get hit with red bar, I will lose a lot of health. Trip, maybe? Ooh, nice try, kid. Yeah, that attack is scary. Man, I cannot turn this PR. Ooh, that was also very scary. All right, we're getting poisoned again.
You're being so greedy. I hate
Don't
it.
worry about it. Everything's fine. I have plenty of health to get out of here. Hurry. Before I die. Alright, we're good. Whew. Yeah, no, that's just being goblin brain greedy. If you don't greed every single attack, you know, are you even playing the game?
Oh, we have a $10 donation from Yami Carol 123.
Yummy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Is that towards the Hog and the Frog for the last $9.80 that we required to do Hog and a Frog?
He didn't say it, but I'm assuming it is.
It better be Yami. No input buffer there, Sag.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. HoginaFrog.
I
We did it. We're there.
We did it. Awesome. I love doing it. I never do it on stream, but I love doing it at marathons because it's just such a silly category, and then we get to look at Poogie at the very end of it. So,
Yes.
all right. So track gathering all starts out the same. For Rathian, I will start in Camp 1, and I want to come out here and look for tracks. There are no tracks here, so I know I'm on pattern A or B. Then I slide around this corner, and look at that, I get pattern A. I always get pattern A. Why do I only ever get pattern A? Pattern A is the slowest pattern. Every time. But it's okay. We have, you know, plenty of time.
So the way Pink Rathian tracks work is that you need 400 research points total. We gathered 60 during that Pookie expedition, and the Anjanath quest we'll have to do later will give us another 40. So we need to collect, 400. So we need to collect 300 total on this expedition and the one we're doing after this, because unfortunately no pattern gives us enough to complete it in a single expedition.
What's
So
really
Bagel is
interesting about the routing that we did when we were doing this, another runner and I routed out these tracks, and we went back and forth a lot. So between patterns A, B, and C, you can either get I'm thinking here. You can get 20 points, 18 points, or 15 points. So that means at a minimum, you have to do this twice if you're going to get 15 points at a minimum. But another runner and I, Katnius, went back and forth, like, trying to optimize this and, like, do you take the risk? I always said no, and you always gathered the minimum 15. You know. But he always just gathered 15 and then went on the next one, and, you know, sometimes you get a slow 15, but sometimes you get a fast 15. It's interesting, just the differences.
Ding. We have another donation.
Whoops.
From Corona Jones for $50. Thank you. And JalBagel, best bagel.
Oh.
That also goes towards HoginaFrog.
But it's already been met.
So
Jones, put it towards something else. Now I'm gonna have to make him go and look. Double hog and absolutely not. Oh, double A, cool. Neat.
Oh, fun.
Actually, the slowest possible pattern that we could get.
One interesting thing about this, though, is because He needs 300 points total, and pattern A has 200. He only needs to do half the pattern, and this pattern is actually very nicely split up into the first and second groups of 100 tracks.
Oh, 1 and 2. So what's really scary about doing that menuing right there is that we do return from quest. Returning from quest means you keep all the resources that you gathered, you lose all the stuff that you used, so we can actually maintain our research points that we gathered. Right above it is abandoned quest, which means you keep nothing, you lose nothing, nothing progresses, and I have definitely accidentally hit abandoned quest in a speedrun before on record pace and was really upset about it. Because you just have to do it again.
Yeah.
Alright, Tickled Pink. We fought a Pookie, and then we fought it a second time. We fought an Anjanath, and now we're going to fight it a second time. High rank Anjanath goes a lot like the first one, except we don't put it to sleep and drop rocks on it. Instead, we use 2 pitfall traps on it, and pray. We do a lot of praying on this quest. I should have eaten, honestly, but no, it's okay. I don't need to. But this quest is either goes really well or really poorly. If I'm smart about my positioning and taking advantage of claggers, this will go perfectly fine. If I goblin brain and do dumb stuff, I will struggle forever. Off of the first clagger, I am going to claw uppercut a leg and tenderize that leg, instead of like doing my normal rushed PR. So we do 2 PRs here. Dodge. I need him to, like, stop doing this attack that he keeps doing. Please hit the leg, thank you. Oh. Yoink.
Ledges.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh!
Man, feels ledge.
Feels ledge.
Oh my goodness. I need it to, like, not be there, actually. Come back over here, please. Uh-oh. You hit me, I hit you. That is not the direction I wanted to go there. YOLO? Works every time.
Nice.
So ideally I get a leg break here. Easiest clap. That is first pod. A bit of armor during some of the attacks. Hello, Tail. Fancy meeting you in that zip code. Just a small safety strat there, doing that flash. Sometimes you don't have enough time from a like a stagger from the powerful slinger to put down the trap. So I always just flash it if I can get in front of it. But that was a limp which told me it was ready to be captured. Just hadn't dropped the last pod yet, which it did off of me shooting the slinger. It's just a game knowledge kind of presence of mind thing. If this weapon was routed at all during any of this, we would know after how many PRs or after what script it was capture ready. No decoration RNG. All right, Pink Rathian, Green. Just break the news to him. This is where the run dies.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to have fun anymore.
Yep, the fun is over. It's time for Pink Rathian to join.
Yep. So I'm sure any of you who've played the game know Pink Rathian by itself is a terrible fight. But what if we threw Gadjalaka and a Legiana into the same zone?
And if those didn't ruin your day enough, then you have to deal with the Zitzi Yaku.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yep. Fun is absolutely not allowed in speedrunning.
Yeah. Luckily, we do have some ways around it. As you will see here.
Yeah, this is Iki.
Oh, I only have
So one thing you may have
Monka W.
One thing you may have noticed is that he actually went on an expedition to post this quest. The reason for that is this quest does drop you right in front of the monster, and he wanted to eat. We can't eat in a stair anymore because the canteen has been upgraded and now has a, I think, 40-second cutscene associated with it now. So we don't want to touch that.
Bomb! Bomb again that I phased through. Oh.
These gadgets.
Alright, she's enraged. I'm leaving.
So because she's enraged, she'll follow him anywhere. So he's getting her out of the nasty zone with the Legiana and gadgets. Huh.
She's supposed to land on the ground. She didn't.
She was.
I want to be on your other side, please. That works. Looking for my first pod.
Now, one thing you may notice is Bagel is not going for the head a lot of the time. That's not because the head isn't a good hit zone. It is on this monster, but Pink Rathian moves around so much that getting the leg topples is more important than the higher damage you get from hitting the head.
Why did I go there? You know, it's times like that that I wish I had like the controller input diagram or just a hand cam, just so you could see the absolute nonsense of what my fingers are doing while I'm trying to equip a flash bug, change my menu, launch a flash bug, place a trap. Like it's asinine. Absolutely insane. All right, Green, the best part of the run now.
Not yet.
What are you talking about? This is literally the best part. Hello?
Nah.
You're at it. It's the whole part.
We have to.
The best
Oh
parts of
no
the
no no no
Chronicles
no
of
no
it.
no no.
Okay, so this is
Time
the best part of the run. Easily, hands down, the best part of the run. Track gathering. So there are 3 monsters. Pattern C. There are 3 monsters that we have to gather tracks here for, not counting Nerdigante, which technically we do, but we have expedited that, and we'll explain that later. Later. There are 3 monsters: Kushala Daora, Valhazak, and Teostra. I say them out of order to bother Green. We have to gather tracks for each one of those monsters, and like I said before, they each have 3 distinct patterns in their area. So once again, 9 more distinct patterns that we have to memorize. The moment that we get into a quest, we'll know exactly which patterns that we're on. Because I saw those blue scout flies at the very beginning, I knew I'm on pattern C. On patterns A and B, they don't do that. Toadstool. This is a good pattern. This is the second fastest, but it's only slower by like a few seconds, so it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Kushala is
Yeah, go ahead.
one of the ones you do not want the slowest. The slowest loses 40 seconds.
Yeah, and somehow I always get it. All right, good. I got the right track there. But there's actually a couple extra tracks. There's one extra track on this. I always gather it because sometimes it's finicky, like which tracks you actually pick up. So I'll have one extra here, and I just kind of do that because it's a negligible time loss and it's just safety because I'm scared. Almost pulled a green. Was opening up the world map.
Was one time 4 months ago.
You only have to do it once for it to be a meme.
I was on like comfortable 2-minute PB pace and returned from expedition halfway through tracks and lost over a minute because of it.
Tracks are nobody's friends. Ooh, whoops. Missed an input there. Alright. Teostra tracks. I don't like any of these tracks, actually. I would take a pattern B here, though. If you had any announcements or donations, now is a really good time. There's really not much to say during tracks other than what we already hit on. Oh no, Slurp's gone.
Oh, sorry, my attention was not.
Trust me, it is okay. My attention isn't here either. I'm pretty much on autopilot right now.
Cool. What did you just ask? Sorry.
Oh no, did you have any if you had any donations or any announcements, reminders of incentives and stuff like that, now's a really good time for it.
I can always say something about the charity that we are raising money for.
Yeah.
We are raising money for Extra Life, which raises funds for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And the proceeds for our particular marathon are going to the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation, which Extra Life has options to put it to any local hospital that of your choosing. So we have chosen Alberta's, but Extra Life brings together thousands of gamers around the world to play games in support of their local Miracle Network hospitals. And since 2008, they've raised over $70 million for sick and injured kids in continuing to do so. And yeah, so the funds go to the Alberta Children's Hospital as unrestricted funds, which means the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars raised and make the biggest impact possible. There we go.
An amazing cause.
Indeed.
So, show of hands, how many of you know the speedrun for A Hat in Time? How many of you have seen any percent for A Hat in Time? Back in the day, before Iceborne, before Clutch Claw, before Slinger Burst, before Defender Gear, before they added more track gathering patterns to each of these monsters, it used to take as long as an any percent Hat in Time speedrun. My friend used to race who could do it faster, me with tracks or him with A Hat in Time. He would win. Every time. It is disgusting how long it used to take, and they fixed a lot of that, which made me really happy. So now it doesn't take an asinine amount of time, but instead, like, what? How long does this take now? Like 12 minutes?
Yeah, I think perfect, at least with my split timing, perfect tracks is like a high 11.
I keep going the wrong way. Whoops. Please?
Yeah, I think like in the past it would be like 3 or 4 tracks, and then you have to like exit out of the thing and then go back in every time. Yeah.
Doing a pattern in 2 like expeditions was considered fast. Now we just do it in 1 every single time.
I believe it.
I think I'm gathering the right thing. Should be gathering the right thing. Yeah, I did. All right, good. Radamon, please. If he hits my Gilly Mantle off there, this becomes a lot more annoying. All right, green. Now it's... Oh, whoops.
That was
I did gather the right one. Yep, very good. Now it's the best time of the speed run. Now it's the best part.
No meme anymore. This is my favorite part of the run.
I don't know why.
It's... Okay, I did come up with half of it.
That's
probably
true.
part of it. I just love this area. It's full of cool movement. So, this is the new...
I always let you explain it. I'm going to let you explain it every time.
Yeah. This is the new 10-second time save. We recently discovered that the radius to start slow walking around the Admiral is much smaller than the radius to stop slow walking. So if you never get caught in his slow walk, you can sprint past him much sooner. So there's a specific ledge coming up that he's going to want to sprint off of. So he's waiting for a specific visual cue.
Is it a visual cue or is it an audio cue?
I don't know what you use.
I didn't use anything. I've only done this once.
Oh.
YOLO. What up?
There it is.
So if I did this normally, it would be... hold on. I wouldn't be able to jump off that cliff until... No. Now.
Wow.
Yeah, that saves so much time.
It was huge.
That was discovered last week.
I mean, it was technically discovered a long time ago. We just
Nobody knew how to do it consistently until last week.
I'll give you that.
So it's new tech as of last week. Because yeah, no, Ellie's been telling me that's possible since we were speedrunning together, and she was like, "I know this. Like, it feels like it works." I'm like, "Well, if you can't reproduce it."
So now comes the really cool tech. So we have to cite 3 monsters here and gather 2 Nergigante spikes at each one. And they are routed in a very specific order to do that in the fastest way possible. Now, you may notice Bagel has his Gilly Mantle on here. That's for a very specific reason. when Uragan's cutscene ends, he roars. And normally, when you encounter a monster, you're in kind of a frozen, oh my god, a new monster state. But this cutscene will force him to take off his ghillie mantle, which allows him to move immediately and walk just out of range of the roar, completely ignoring it.
Very
Next.
cool tech.
Dodo Gamma has 2 spikes here, one on the left side of the room, one on the right. So he gathers the spike on the right first, and then he'll dodge into the cutscene, which has a set ending position, which happens to be right next to the second spike. And the cutscene refreshed his ghillie mantle, so he can just completely ignore Dodo Gamma. Don't do it!
You're welcome, Llama. I hope you're watching. I did it for you.
And now this last one, we enter this cutscene from a different place than the game expects us to, so we actually end up on the other side of the zone, much closer to the spikes.
Hello,
and
sir?
Oh, hello. We actually used to do the Elder's Recess before the other tracks, but we realized because this is a new expedition, you'd have to wait for the map to fill in. So now because you do it last, you can just buffer this return from expedition as you're gathering the final spikes.
Why was he there?
I don't know.
Very strange. So if we didn't get that horn break on Nergigante during Zora 2, I'd have to do that again. But since we do it in one visit, it saves like a minute between like loading and moving around and having to go to other it saves so much time. Stop talking to you, and then we go back. Okay. Nergigante. Now we get to actually fight him. Zora was never really our objective here. The entire mystery of this game is surrounding Nergigante and why he's so thirsty to eat Zora. So we get to fight him now because we're like, hey, leave Zora alone. You know, he owes us that insurance money. Stop bullying him. Oh my gosh. Now this is how I know how to do this speed run. This is it. So
we have a donation.
Oh yeah, go for it.
We got $10 from Not DJ Johnny. You're welcome for the Admiral skip. Also, good luck with the Speedy.
Thank you, Not DJ Johnny.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, so Nergigante is unique. You may have noticed earlier that he grows spikes at varying intervals on different parts of his body, most notably his head and his front arms. The spikes have 3 states: broken, white, and black. When the spikes are broken, the hit zone value for that area is okay. When there are white spikes, the hit zone value is amazing. And when there are black spikes, the hit zone value is terrible. They grow from broken to white to black. Ideally, what we do here is we break the spikes as they grow. So when the spikes turn white, we break them. What that does is topples the monster if he's in an animation that will allow him to topple. Guaranteed, every single time will happen unless like a flinch or a clagger would overwrite it, which is really unfortunate because that happens a lot. But as long as we time everything correctly, we will get this pretty consistently. So just a little positioning to bait this attack here. So we can get a wall bang, claw uppercut, tenderize. Since we're using a light weapon, the claw uppercut gives us 1 tenderize, and then the actual tenderize gives us the other half of the light. We're going to bait another attack here. And now we're going to use this thorn pod to wall bang. The thorn pod will give us a KO, or it'll build up a KO threshold. This is just such a fun. This is just a really fun opener. Just gonna stop that roar from happening, and then KO. 1, 2, 3. So I was trying to time that to get the part break after the knockdown animation ended, but it didn't happen. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull him down here. When you've enraged a monster, you can act. They will just follow you to the ends of the earth. So we kind of take advantage of that here to get him underneath these rocks. 2, 3. I miss the head there, and I get a really bad AI. All right. So I'm going to try to bait out a very specific attack here, because now I want to break the... Oh, what was that? I accidentally hit a different button there. So I'm taking advantage of a game, an intended mechanic in the game called riser iframes. Really should be hitting the other one. I got it, we're good. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and those just turned black. That's unfortunate. And I missed that dodge roll. All right, we're doing great. So now that it has black spikes, we have to be very careful here, because now we bounce off of that arm. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nice. Guard slash. Rush this. Clagger there is good. Good, and those spikes were going back as we did that.
So like Bagel mentioned, he is waiting to start his PR so that his finisher doesn't land until Nergi is back up. You may be wondering why he doesn't actually attack while he's waiting, though. PR actually does exactly enough damage to break the spikes as he gets up. If he hits it effectively at all before he does the PR, they'll break too soon.
This is amazing AI, he says jokingly. 1, 2, 3. Did it again. Not gonna chance it. Yep, I'm happy I didn't, because that would have killed me. So he should de-aggro right here. Yep, and he does. So I'm using the Crystal Burst to keep him in this area. That like small stagger will just keep him here. Oh, interesting. That hit me. 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right. Not a perfect Nergi, but not a bad one. Low 5 is not ideal, but it is still a very fast fight. That can actually be a low 4 or a high 3. Done like perfectly. We had some hiccups there. It's been a minute. You know, I had a couple of hiccups, but. Still, overall, a very good fight. Got to show off how Nergi spike break mechanics work. All right. So the next movement here is going to look weird. We actually did track gathering out of order. The game doesn't expect us to do track gathering until right now, like after this hunt. So we're going to have to run around and talk to a bunch of people. The reason why we do it out of order... one is because it saves us about 2 different trips out into the field. It saves us 2 load screens more or less, and 2, it kind of helps the flow of the game here, the speed run. You do all the Elder Dragons all at once. You know, you get kind of like a brief reprieve just right here in this movement, and then after that, you know, it's boss rush. The first monster that we're gonna fight is Kushala, also known as Wimdy. It's heckin' windy, just all of the time. He has an aura about him. The Elder Dragons have an aura. Nergigante's aura is his spikes. Kushala's aura is its wind. It has a wind armor around it. That wind will push you around and kind of flinch you if you get too close to it or if you stand in it too long. He also makes tornadoes. We don't want any of that nonsense. That's all terrible. Through tedious testing, grinding, and just all around bashing our heads against the wall, say hello to Poogie. We'll see him after this run. We figured out a way to fully lock Kushala. Now, if I'm any good at this game, I'll get a full lock. If I'm terrible at this game, which is usually what I am, I won't get a full lock, and I will cry at having to do Kushala like this. But the full lock is very difficult. It's all timing. It's insane. Sonergi was our last upgrade. We now have the strongest weapon in the entire game, and while I'm at it, I'm going to make my cat a weapon. He gets the high-rank Pookie weapon. And then just a little safety thing here. Oh wow, I didn't actually get any extra flash bugs. Okay, we don't need those. Good old thumbs up.
Now, one very fun thing about Kushala, for a long time we thought the headlock was only timing based. And then we started getting better and better at our positioning and noticing, hey, why aren't we getting the headlock anymore? And then we learned, if you position too well, you over damage it and don't get to lock it anymore.
Yep. So a lot of my positioning will be to split up the damage between the head and the neck. It's idiotic. Doing less damage to go faster. Who would have thunk it?
Yep. And the positioning is harder for it.
Oh, I've talked to everyone. What am I doing? I just wanted to talk to this dude. He was being really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. That's even a rule in IL speedrunning that like sometimes doing too much damage is too good and actually makes you go actually slow down. You know, we take a lot of inspiration from how individual level runners, like people that just like speedrun one monster, like Alatrian speedruns or Nergigante speedruns, or you know whatever it may be, AT Valkana TA rules, right? Like we take inspiration from those to kind of understand how these monsters will interact and with the resources that we have. But even in those cases, it's totally possible to overdamage and to overwrite thresholds, which is bad, right? Because then you lose your locks. But with most endgame hunts and endgame gear, it kind of lines up perfectly. It's almost like it was designed that way. Weird. Do I do it green way? Do I do it Green's way or do I do it my? No, I do it my way. I like the KO at the very beginning. I do it my way. Green has a more consistent setup, but he gets a KO in the middle of it, and I don't like that. I have a less consistent setup, but it's a faster lock, less RNG based. Go ahead and equip that. As long as I do everything correct here, which I don't remember how to do it, we'll be fine. Dodge out of this, immediate flash, and claw uppercut. Oh, I only have 2 flash pods left. Hope I get this lock. Nice, good AI.
Beautiful.
Rush. Nope. Got lucky, let's go.
Oh, got it.
Should still get it. Nope, it didn't. Yep, alright. That's unfortunate.
Close stuff.
Man, I just trying to get lucky with an ad lib here so I can get this off. There we go. I'll take it.
Nice improv there. Back hopping under the head.
Not easy to do.
Not at all.
That's really unfortunate, man. Just the wall and the positioning there was just not great. Oh, good, he got back down on the ground. Let's go. Snipe the headlock. There we go. Down the ground, kid.
Good head break. Means it's below 30%.
Nice.
Oh.
341. Okay, that's not amazing. But that's really good. Didn't get a full lock there. Just a little sloppy on positioning and stuff like that. My falling shield bashes. We do that for timing, right? It's still a good amount of damage. It builds up KO, which is not like why we do that. But it's all timing. The falling shield bash into a timed PR always works on the topple. Now, the reason that works in that monster is what I was talking about way earlier in the run about how each body part has a different, stagger threshold, how they share thresholds and share statuses. The head only has the head knockdown on it. There is no clagger threshold on the head. There is a clagger threshold on the back and on the legs. So as long as we're getting our PR finishers on the head, we can keep that clagger chain. Or excuse me, that head knockdown chain. The next monster shares the clagger and the head knockdown both on the head. So we have to alternate combos and how we react to that. It can produce a full lock, it's just not consistent. And it requires a little bit of ad lib and monster knowledge. Whoops, I accidentally saved.
Next monster, we also get to show off some not well known but very cool game tech.
Oh yeah. As a Switch Axe main, this is my favorite tech. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to do it. It's because it's really neat. So Teostra is kind of weird. There's a big RNG element to him too. He can have either he has 2 auras instead of 1. Special boy. He can either have his flame aura or his blast aura. Ideally, we get a blast aura. It's just the easiest thing to fight with SNS. If he gets a flame aura, I know how to deal with it. It just makes doing this opener a lot harder. But blast aura is what we want. There we go, and we're gonna get up to the cutscene here. And right before the cutscene, we'll use this Might Siege, just extending the duration of this buff as long as possible. What's neat is that buffs don't nice. Buffs don't count down during cutscenes, so it's free.
That triple hit serves 2 purposes. One, it's a roar, which gives an opening for a mount.
3, 4, 5. 1,
and it half tenderizes.
3, 4, 5. Nice. All right. This is the cool tech. Yoink. You can clutch claw back onto a monster out of a mount.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
There's that good clagger.
Swag.
Tokyo Drift! I was too slow there. Why did it take so long to hit the ground? Ooh, I am not in a great spot. Yep. Yeah, whatever. Oh, hello. You're not supposed to bite. You're supposed to jump if you're in blast mode. What? I'm dead? I'm alive? Here are those elements of RNG again. Oh, I back hopped the wrong way. And almost died because of it. And I'm getting amazing AI, which is Teostra running from one side of the arena to the other.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm just not going for that. Because he is giving me, like, terrible AI right now, and I'm very low health. Okay, oh, over here now. A little too fast on that. Did my falling shield bash very quickly. And he is speedy boy. So watch out for the ground here. Yep, and I got knocked into it. Good panic dive. Not easy to do fast. Man, I cannot... go in. This fight has been a cluster mess. Stop. It's way too close for you to be doing that nonsense.
Is it gonna go boom?
He was trying.
Oh. We don't want that.
No, I can't survive it. I can't back hop it. I can't nothing it.
A Farcaster. That'd be slow though.
Oh yeah. Did I get it? Nice. There we go. Okay, good.
Oh.
That was a not a great Teostra, but I'll take it. It's a good recovery. Not dying is better than, you know, getting greedy and doing it fast, especially in a marathon setting. So that's good. That's good. That feels good.
Right on. Two left. Right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Valhazak and
Yep. 2 hunts left.
Yeah.
Val and Xeno.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm grabbing those. I don't need them. How many light seeds do I have? 6. Yeah, I'll have 7, 8, 9, 10, 9. Yeah, okay, I'll have plenty. Oh, man. How satisfying would it be if I can do a full lock on Xeno?
Oh, that would be great.
So Xeno'jiva can actually be full locked. We call it a hand lock because we just bully his hand and you just can't move ever again. It is very hard to do. It's all based on like your positioning and timing, and it is incredibly difficult. And I did it once, and man, I cannot do it again.
And chat says just do it.
Just do it, forehead.
Right.
It's that simple.
Do it.
All right, Valhazak. Valhazak is a fantastic fight. It's all ad lib. There is literally no script to this. The entire air, all of the air in this arena wants to kill you. It inflicts a status called Effluvia, and Effluvia halves my health. In the same frame, I can be Effluvia'd and hit at the exact same time and instantly die. It happens a lot. The only way to get rid of Effluvia is to eat a Nullberry. You can also wear mantles to stave off the effect, but we are not going to do that because we want to save our Gilly Mantle. So a lot of this fight is just going to be ad-lib. I am going to be reading the attacks and trying to position myself in ways that I can land PR finishers while it's doing other attacks. It's an optimization of Sword and Shield just to know how you can position yourself around a monster, especially a monster that you can't script. So that's pretty much just this entire fight. So I'm going to be more or less just, concentrating on that.
Wait, you can do that?
Wow.
That's just a dumb little thing that I do because I don't like getting roared by the monster. But I also like to be able to position myself over here so I can Slinger Burst him into the wall, and I think that hits. Let's go. Valhazak is nice too. With light weapons, he drops Pierce Pod, so we can kind of use that to our advantage. I'm trying to bait him back up here. I'm in a very awkward spot. If he does like the waterfall of doom here, I will just probably die. I want to try to keep him up on this plateau so I can take advantage of that attack. I have been Effluvia'd. Oh my gosh, where did all my health go? Take care of that.
I was wondering about that.
I did not realize that all my health was gone.
I thought you were just goblin braining.
Absolutely not. I had no idea all my health was missing. Hey, Gyros, go literally anywhere else. So the Gyros are nice because they'll paralyze them.
Missing.
Yeah, they're nice because they'll paralyze Val for me, but the other thing that they'll also do is if they get in the way, they just eat all of my sharpness. And if you know anything about this game, sharpness equals damage. The higher your sharpness, the more damage you do. I'm in a bad position right here. That's not fantastic, so I don't know what broke there.
Health is removed. Alright now though, you're good.
Alright, good. Got something there. Alright, we're good. Just want to make sure I position myself in an appropriate way here. Because you can definitely bait out attacks that you don't want from him. Attacks that turn his entire body into a hitbox, and that entire hitbox does a lot of damage. I'm also trying to avoid hitting this arm while he's in other animations like claggers and flinches to avoid breaking it and not getting a knockdown. That's unfortunate. It's just weirdly weird positioning. Like this attack right here will kill me if it hits me, and my positioning was perfect. And there's that arm break. Thanks, Gyros. It's okay, I didn't want to do damage anyways. I'm already at green sharpness, send help. Just always paying attention to my health on this fight. Oop, I did not back up. So we get bumped.
Always.
I think that's third pod. We'll
Second
see.
and third.
Wow, I hit all good hit zones there.
Kinda.
Oh, wall, thank you. Damn. All right, I have to hurry here because when he gets to this next area, because that is third pod, he's going to want to leave immediately. I want to drop a rock on him before he can do that, and I am very far away from being able to do that. 2, 3, shoot it. So now he's going to try to leave, and it kills him. Let's go.
Perfect.
555, baby. Sub 6 is really good on that.
Let's go.
You can do it faster. You can zero transition that. We were very close to a zero transition because remember that does 5% of its health, and every PR that we do does like what? Like I want to say 3 or 4%.
7 to 10, I'd say.
7 to 10. Oh my
Just
gosh.
PR1 is like 300. That rock did 475.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so our PR does more than that rock, but that rock also creates, you know, a big, you know, opening for damage too. So if you're doing bad, it's a really great way to make up, you know, 20%. Such good tech. Such good tech. Wee. Oh. So why didn't I flash him? I didn't know how close I was, and also he got away from me before I could flash him. You always let him leave. It's guaranteed to drop that rock because he will always go underneath it. All right, the last hunt. Xeno Jiva. This... So... If we're good, we hand lock him perfectly. We do this in just about 5 minutes, and it's the most satisfying feeling in the world. If we're bad, we do this in like 7 minutes, and it's full copium, and, you know, maybe we die once. We'll see what happens. But this fight is very cool. We bring the cat with us here, even though... So the big reason, we didn't really talk about that, but the biggest reason why we leave the cat behind is because it splits the monster's targeting AI between you and the cat. It makes a monster a lot less predictable when it's targeting something else, especially if it's something else that you don't know where it's positioned. Now, with that, we're going to take that disadvantage to introduce a new advantage. The cat has a poison weapon. Poison, just like sleep, builds up on a threshold. When it reaches that threshold, the monster becomes poisoned, which over time it will take a specific amount of damage. For Xeno, it's a lot of damage for a relatively low threshold. We can get 2 to 3 poisons off in a hunt just by having the cat with us. 1, 2, 3. It's a small optimization. I kind of wanted to test, you know, not having it here, but just haven't yet. But the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to bait Xenojiva's AI. With really big monsters, it's very easy. Where is that going? It's easier to bait specific attacks and movements. I got a walkies instead of a runnies. That's fine. We can make that work. But now that the rock has been dropped, we can go. We want to get a hand flinch. And then we can try to get a perfect phase 1. So far, this is not a perfect phase 1 because I haven't gotten a blast proc on that hand. But it should be very close to flinching. Ow. There it is. Good. And thus it begins. Nope, he walked forward. That's about the only thing that's going to stop us from doing it. There's some circumstances where your positioning is really good that you can still get it. Oh, that's Ronnie's. Rush PR2. Nice. So that's phase one. That's pretty close to perfect. That was a decent phase one.
Losing lock once is not bad at all.
Wow, that did reach around enough to me. I thought I was far enough away. At least it gave me good AI to make up for it. And I'm in a good position. Oop, I didn't charge it. I got lucky. Stop the roar. Weird position. Yeah, I lose it because now we're just kind of like in a weird spot because the wall didn't, push me in an awkward way. But that's probably okay because I get to retenderize this. It's a big limiting factor of this fight is that tenderize. When it wears off, we're doing a lot less damage. No, back up, come on. PR, rush PR2. Get off the head. Oh. The other thing that we have to do is manage our health here. He lights the ground on fire because he is, that cool. I didn't have something funnier to say. Okay, good. I didn't get locked. Rush PR2. Get it? Nope. I'm at blue sharpness. Oh, nice try, kid. Why am I rushing? Cool thing about Claw Uppercut, it has armor. So I can armor through things like his roar that I wouldn't be able to... Uh-oh. I'm alive, somehow. Ah, yes, rocks.
Geometry is a very fun mechanic.
Move! Fight's gotten a little away from us, but it's still been a really good one. Alright, super critical. Green, you want to talk about super critical?
Yes. So the big thing we care about in super critical is that A, his whole body becomes a better hit zone, and B, we can topple him by hitting his chest. And Sword and Shield happens to have a shotgun, so we're just going to shotgun his chest a couple of times and topple him. Like so. And the reason we don't just try to keep the lock in supercritical is that he doesn't actually topple from his arms anymore. He just flinches.
The unfortunate thing about supercritical is that wherever he walks turns into flaming ground. So it means you're always on fire. So a lot of this becomes health management. Oh, he's dead. Cool. He was literally a point away from death. That's time. I hit my foot pedal. Stop. Split. Nailed it. Oh, because I have splits open. Pause. There we go. Time. I forgot I didn't have a blank split open. Nailed it. All right, that's time.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep track of like where his health is at because he just drops pods like wildly, so it just happens. And I wasn't ready for it. So yeah, our estimate was a 315, and that was kind of taking into consideration things like dual blades and greatsword. SNS is just an absolute monstrosity with perfect rush and slinger burst. So yeah.
Yeah, we met the HoginaFrog.
Oh, that's right. I have to do HoginaFrog.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Right here, hold on.
HoginaFrog.
Control, let me... I think I have a splits file that's just... like, just testing. I don't know where it would be, though. It's gone.
Can you not just run live split with closed splits?
Can you do that?
Yeah.
You close a split? Whatever.
Right
Alright.
click and hit close splits.
No. Oh, brilliant. I had no idea. I've learned something new today. Alright, cool. Let me, alright, so we can set up for this really quick. So HoginaFrog. Thank you guys so very much for donating towards HoginaFrog. This is the best speedrun category of the game because it's the shortest. HoginaFrog is a speedrun to unlock the Hog in a Frog costume for Poogie. We have to do two things to do that. One, do the first quest of the game, which is Joggers of the Ancient Forest, and two, grab Poogie. That's it. Those are the requirements. Last time I did this, I did it right, so I'm happy. But you can mess this up, actually, which is hilarious.
Can you do Lance, please?
Lance? Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I can do Lance. I had to think about it. Lance is actually pretty fast with Jogris. So unlike Xeno%, this one doesn't actually have weapon categories. Whoops, confirm, there we go. This one doesn't actually have weapon categories. It's only one category, and so you just do it with the fastest Joggers of the Ancient Forest weapon, which is probably Charge Blade, but it could be other things too.
Could be.
I personally think it's Charge Blade. It's the wrong one.
He loves me.
Well, no, I was naming him Frog,
Oh.
so he had to be green.
Right. Yes.
Can I get a countdown for HoginaFrog %?
Sure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So much like Xeno%, we start out here. We start out on Zora again. So all of this is about optimized, perfect, just, flawless movement. With such a short category, it's left a lot of room to improve this movement here. Ideally, we get a far away wing drake so we can hug the inside corner here so we can get to the transition on Zora's back fast enough. We don't fall down his back from weird just geometry problems while climbing. You just let go, right? Like it's very strange. But if my positioning is right, it won't happen. And then we get a really good slide off of Zora. I'm just looking out for all of those things. I guess we could also talk about how do you actually unlock the HoginaFrog costume. You have to do two things with Poogie. So you have to unlock Poogie. Poogie doesn't unlock until after Joggers of the Ancient Forest. When you unlock Poogie, you have to do two things. You have to pet him. Oh no, he... Geometry, why? Alright, well at least I got to show off what happens there. I kind of recovered this climb too. I got a decent climb. Far placement, good. So you have to do two things with Poogie. One, you have to pet Poogie correctly. When you're petting Poogie, if you have to like wait for like the little indicator to pop up and pet him the right way, so he loves you. And if you mess that up, then you have to go and like do a quest and then come back. Or you know, normally you would just reset. Then the other thing you have to do is when you have gotten that correct pet and he loves you, you pick him up and then you bring him over to a specific position, a specific lantern, and you set him down next to that lantern. Now, the problem with doing that is that there is actually two treasures that he can find next to that lantern. One is the HoginaFrog costume, and the other is like an iron ore or something. It's something we don't want. So we actually have to place him down on the ground, like in the right spot. If we're a little off, he will actually just go to the wrong treasure location. Things that I do constantly because I don't practice this. Yep, beautiful game. We've seen all of it already. I guess the other thing, too, to talk about is that there's actually a category beyond Xeno%. It is called Char%. It's a speedrun of the Master Rank portion of the game, and it takes... With the cutscene skip mod, it takes about 9 hours to do. At least it takes me about 9 hours to do. Didn't I get it? Actually, I got a sub 7, didn't I? Which was about an 8 hours and 20 minutes RTA. Or I got a sub 8, which was 8 hours, 20 minutes RTA.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
At sub... Was it a sub 8? Yeah. Was it a... Yeah, it was a sub 8.
I don't know. By the end of Char%, I'm always, like, passing out.
Or was it a sub 9?
And I'm not even one running.
SNS, let's just say this, PR is still really good in Master Rank. PR go burr. Sub 8, yeah, it was sub 8. No! Ugh.
I'm lost.
Yeah, another small, negligible, but really big time loss for HoginaFrog. I wasn't close enough to that bush. Legitimately would be a reset. Oh, focus cam, target cam, all monsters, large monsters, and default too far. Now, before cutscene skip, it used to take 10 to 11 hours. So there are, in total, throughout the entirety of Char%, there was 2 hours and 10 minutes of cutscenes, and then a really long credits scene, too. All previously unskippable prior to cutscene skip mod. So it is actually, like, the biggest blessing to have that. All right, do I go for the fast walk here to make up for my time?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go for it. So there's usually a voice line that you wait for here, but you can start walking a little beforehand. Dang it, I was late to it. You can start walking a little beforehand. You get a little bit of a run, and it's still you're still close enough to the handler that it triggers her her movement. If you're too far away from her, you have to run back to her, which is really annoying. Is that my kitty cat that's underneath me right now? Hello, kitty cat.
Yeah.
10%.
And dodge. It is actually a time save.
Kitty.
And dodge. Skip. I am already mashing the start button to skip this. We didn't talk about text mashing, but there is a method to text mashing. I'm hitting both X and circle, which is accept and like clear, cancel. Like accept and deny, right? Like, you know, yes and no. I'm hitting X and circle slightly staggered, so one completes the text box while the other one clears the text box. So you can get these incredibly fast text clears. It's a nice like little, there's like a rhythm to it, a cadence to it, to get the fastest text clear. Because just mashing away does absolutely nothing. But getting the cadence down will clear your text so much faster. Didn't really talk about that in Xeno percent because it's I wouldn't say it's negligible in Xeno percent, but it's more or less overlooked because you don't have to do that perfect. Here, you are almost expected to do it perfect every single time. Because, you know, 20-minute speedrun, not even. You want to be... I need to do this with Lance? Okay, I can do this with Lance. Lance is weird with Jagras, but if I get a good position, I can kill, like, 4 of them with 3 pokes.
You also don't need to stop for honey.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. Ooh! Maybe Lance is OP. Because I have Lance Dash.
Yeah.
It's time. New unofficial world record incoming.
Gotta beat, I believe, 12:22. Oh, that's IGT.
Yeah, we're doing RTA. Which my time's really close to IGT if I'm skipping the cutscenes really fast, and because my load times are like only a few seconds. What are you doing? You don't belong up there ever. He jumped up on the desk side of my desk. You little shit. You don't belong there ever. Excuse my French, but no. Cat doing cat things.
I'll overlook that one. That
All right, Lance. Where the heck is Lance in this list? All right, that was fast enough. I can't believe he did that. He jumped up and landed on top of my one of my D&D books and then freaked out, and everything on the desk slid around. Oh no. There's definitely something broken there.
that boy.
Just wants to play D&D, yeah. Alright, good menuing there. So, since I get to use Lance here, since I was graced with Lance... oh, it's nighttime. Weird. It's never nighttime. Lance has a charging move. I might be able to use that to my advantage here. Good text clear. And then, yeah, I don't have to grab the honey. And Lance Dash almost immediately breaks the honey camera. Go this way. And Marathon Runner helps with stamina depletion.
Oh, that line, beautiful.
So I still want to grab this. And I am running this way for positioning because I want them to be alerted to me out here. They run in, and they didn't. I should probably put these down. All right.
Huh.
Kind of slow.
Speedy.
It felt a little slow. It probably was speedy. How did these not all... Did one get by? Yeah, it looked like it. I think one did get by. Oh well. Okay, so now we just have to wait. Because that's the only hunt that we actually have to do. Love Lance, by the way. If you've never used Lance, you absolutely should. It's the best weapon in the game.
It's good times.
Whack. Come here, nonsense. Give me a little thing. It's also my comfort weapon in Rise right now. I absolutely love Lance and Rise. All of these poor Jagras. Okay. So this is where... This is now all menuing. Where's my foot pedal at? I'm ready this time. Oh, I did the extra input because I'm used to it. Green's gonna yell at me.
I actually forgot about it until you said that.
Alright, Poogie, where you at? He's actually always in the same spot, which is really nice.
Yeah, just chilling down there.
Perfect. Actually don't know what the optimal movement is here. So if you've ever done this, the controller vibrates when you get near things that are treasures, but we are interested in one particular treasure. Put down as triangle square. This one.
The froggy costume.
HoginaFrog!
HoginaFrog.
Time.
Look at him. It's easy.
He is so precious. That is Hog and a frog. And also you can change the color of the frog. You can make him any color you want. And so you can come right down here. And you can make your perfect teal friend. Look at how precious he is. A little white underbelly. Frog. That's HoginaFrog, guys. Thank you so much for meeting that donation incentive. It is our only miscellaneous category. It's the only run that's on the category extensions. It is really dumb and a lot of fun, and we're trying to think of more of these. So thank you guys so very much for letting me letting me show this off. Look at how precious.
Thank you for that run, for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Right. And next up we will have... My mind blanked.
It happens.
Bucky O'Hare, hard mode. Just gonna be awesome. Junkyard Dave and I will be off hosting, and the Phantomire will be taking over.